because I used to just like drink. There's this epic rainbow out there. Oh. So sure to get another one. We ordered one. Go find out about the right place and still get clean water. Yeah. Bro, they were at Waimānalo Falls last night. Oh, 3 in the morning.
Hey, aloha family. We're here in Waimānalo Beach, and we've got our crew all showing up at Pāhonu Beach Park. And thank you for your patience while we get some things set up. Exciting today. I've got my drone pilot here and my 360 camera. Guy with me, Kaimana and Henry. We've got Noah. We've got my own Ohana. Yeah, a lot of who we are represented today, and we're excited to hear from you guys on the Zoom too. I'm hoping that I can actually hear you all today. I couldn't in our first session, so if you do have questions, try to talk to me. We'll interact. Also pass this around so that you all can talk and interact with other participants too. So we're live streaming on YouTube as well. I think I'll try to get that link out so that we can share it. You might be able to figure it out. Maybe it tells you on your screen. I'm on my phone. I'm doing the best I can. I hope the connection's okay, but really glad you're here and look forward to today. It's going to be good. So we'll head over. You guys can walk over with me in just a minute. Kimiona, say good morning.
Morning.
Kimiona, one of the stewards of this place, along with many others, and going to be teaching us a lot today. Key member of the project team, leader in Waimānalo Limuhui, 808 cleanups, everything taking care of the Aina and the ocean. So, yeah, we're stoked to be with him today. Be guests. Looking forward to it. We ready? You think to start moving?
Jan, I don't know if you can hear us, but right now you're silent.
I'm silent.
Hello, Nui Kako. Good morning.
I can hear you.
Before we make our way out, just one last bathroom break. If anyone needs to use the restroom, this is the restroom. Otherwise, we're donating it to the ocean. So mahalo. But make sure we get all of our belongings. We're gonna start our morning off down at the pond itself, where we'll start in our pico and our ho'olaunas, get ourselves acquainted with each other and with space. And then from there, we're just gonna have a wonderful day. Okay, so we're not gonna give away too much of the details right now, but get yourselves makauka, and then when you are, you can go ahead and go down. We have a dry bag if anyone needs keys, wallets, phones to be put in there. We laugh about it all the time, but just a reminder to put stuff away, and then if you leave it in there, it gets donated. So it's your kuleana after that. But at this time, we're gonna kind of gather yourselves, make yourselves makauka, and then we'll walk right over down the stairs or down the far stairs, and then we'll follow out across. Our hui is already out there waiting for us. Anybody have any questions before we get started? Anyone want to wear a malo? Okay. All right. Mahalo nui, everybody. Let's go ahead and get our day started.
All right, boys. You got that? You good to go? You good to go?
Low on battery though.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I thought I charged it full. How much battery?
My thing's at 28.
Get left on or something.
Conserve mode, which is just go that. And then
So I have this.
I have a fat long port if you want to plug it into your truck. Yeah. Or if my girl comes back from the beach soon, I can have her sit in my truck with yours. Yeah.
This is an old school brick.
Oh, that's a portable charger.
Yeah.
Okay. 200.
So if you want to try use it, we can. It'll be slow to charge, but I'll get the bucket and those whiteboards and bring them over. And actually, if I can, I'm gonna, is there someone on the Zoom who I can make a co-host so we don't leave anybody waiting if I'm not noticing that they're waiting in the room? Is anyone open to doing that?
Daniel, I can. Christina.
Oh, thank you, Christina. That's awesome. Okay, I think I can. Let's see. Make a host. If you need to go, Christina, just let me know, or you can just make me host again. Okay, so no worries about that. But mahalo nui, thank you. Thank you for that. All right, we're gonna walk over. So sorry if the view's not always perfect, but I'm gonna turn the camera around and do my best. All right, we're carefully making our way down the steps to the water. And gonna try to keep this stuff dry. See how that goes. Morning, how's it? Aloha. You can see Manana in the background. Got some friends out fishing and paddling. Beautiful morning. Here's Henry with the 360 cam. Good. Woo! Hope I got nothing in my pocket. Oh my, oh, oh, it's awesome. Yeah. This is a tragedy. To some of us, this is a tragedy. February water temps are, you know, they are what they are. We got everybody doing the little rock dance. We have special future navigator guests today, all the way from Florida. Christy McBride. Excited to have all kinds of friends, ages 5 to 55. Most important thing is not to stay warm, it's to stay not hurt. Hey, what's up, Cole?
Watch out for the rockfish.
Oh, the rockfish. No, nobody told me I had to watch out for the rockfish.
Yeah, they're usually in these types of waters.
Okay. Scare them away for me. You want to take the boards? Mark Ellis
Look at that.
saving the day, keeping me from drowning.
There's a body.
Hey, what's up,
Look, there's like a
yeah, it's cool. There is a dry bag. But do you want to put those in the bucket? So let's.
I did not bring the correct shoes. My mom is coming. Oh, good, Dad, can you grab these?
We're gonna put the slippers here. Put them on top.
Okay, I have 3 bucket clothes, so I.
You guys be careful.
No, balancing act with the camera, no good, man.
You sure?
I got it.
We can put stuff inside if we need in the bucket.
We have keys or phone.
Oh, just this one. I have a feeling like, oh, you're gonna want your slippers on, dude. You okay? Be careful, because that's going to be slippery, yeah? All around. Woo-hoo. Oh, we didn't ask you, Keiko, about going over Shriners, huh? We should have asked them. You guys be careful, don't get hurt. All right, I think most of us actually made it across.
I think I hurt my toes.
Oh no. Okay.
My 3 broken toes.
Uncle Ikaika, he might be up here. He has a dry bag, so if you guys want to leave your phone and stuff, maybe can. He's the one in that green shirt.
Water's gonna be with us all day. So
Make friends with Kanaloa best you can. Oh my goodness. Oh, perfect. Mahalo, brother. Yeah, come on, Cole. Come on in.
I shouldn't have gotten here. I have 3 broken toes.
3 broken toes. We'll just chop them off. They'll be fine.
all right. Make sure everybody can be a part of our pico this morning, our circle. Ano ay Mikela Hoyaka ko. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
All right. Belina Maya Oko to this beautiful space. Yeah, welcome to Pāhonu. Pāhonu is our local i'a here in Waimānalo. Ovalno Kimiona. I'm Kimiona. I'm one of the alaka'i of this project here. Bawa o Ikaika Rajasen. He alaka nui o Waimānalo Limuhui Aya. He is the alaka'i of Waimānalo Limuhui. That is the means in which we have the ability and opportunity to be in this space. Yeah. So welcome everybody. We have a very large group, a very special day to spend in fellowship and in learning today. And so we want to make sure that all of us are makaukau for that learning. And like any other cultural space, and we come into this kind of an arena, we introduce ourselves. Yeah, that is what's pono. We introduce ourselves. We vocalize and verbalize our intentionality for the day. What are we here to do? Yeah. And whether it's because you wanted to be here to learn, or wanted to be here to see the wall, or wanted to be here to touch rocks, or whatever that may be, share that. Yeah. It's really important that we connect the history of our space to where we are today. And so we're going to go into a little bit of an introduction of this space, some of its history, some of our history with it. And then some of the bearings so we can get ourselves situated with the community that we're in for the day. Okay, so I'm gonna let Kaika talk to us a little bit about what the Waimānalo Limuhui is first and foremost, and then we'll kind of expand from there. Okay, can everyone hear on this side? Good. Okay, if you cannot hear, say something. Okay, if you cannot see, move. Yeah, make yourself available for the learning. Okay, mahalo.
Morning, everybody. Like he said, I am Ikaika Rajasen. Some history on the Waimānalo Limuhui. So we started the Waimānalo Limuhui in November of 2017 because a few of the kupuna in Waimānalo said that they wanted to see limu as abundant as it used to be when they were kids here in Waimānalo Bay. They remember growing up, and instead of playing sandball fights, they had limu fights and would throw it at each other or make big limu wigs and play with all of the limu here in Waimānalo Bay. The wind in Waimānalo is named Lipu'upu'u, which is also one of the limu that was abundant here. And you could smell that limu from out here in the ocean all the way to the back of the valley. So in 2017, a group of us got together and started the Waimānalo Limuhui. And our intent was to hopefully plant spore-rich limu out here in the bay so that the spores would adhere to the rest of the rubble and rocks underneath the water and grow more abundant like it used to be. We planted on this side of Waimānalo. All of our planting's done here at Pāhonu, and we know that's only one spot and the bay is big. So the current comes in from Makapu'u and heads out towards Bellows. So our hope is that the current will help to carry some of that spores throughout Waimānalo Bay and maybe even beyond towards Kailua. We notice a lot of times that the fish will eat all of the limu that we plant right away. Like within even a day's time, the limu's gone. And for us, it's okay. Fish are also a vector, just like birds are on land. They help us spread spores and they'll poop it out maybe in the next ahupua'a or further down and help us spread the spores here in Waimānalo as well. In the very beginning, we started planting limu on what used to be the remnants of Pāhonu. This is the second pond. This is exactly what it looked like 3 years ago, that pond as well. So it was barely visible unless it was low tide and you could kind of see where the wall is. You can kind of see where it is now. There's a dark shadow, but that's what Pāhonu used to look like 3 years ago. We used to plant our entire limu lei onto rocks to kind of weigh it down and plant it on the wall. And because we started to plant it on the wall, we decided that it was also our kuleana to take care of Pāhonu as well. So in 2018, during the summer, we got the permit. We hosted a group of PUA members at their Ealopu event, and we started our work on restoring Pāhonu as well. Since then, we've been hosting monthly limu plantings and quarterly Pāhonu restoration work days until COVID hit. And then we haven't had one since. And our thought is we do have a lot of kupuna that are in the group. I mean, they're the ones that started or are the reasons why we are planting limu here in the bay. So we wanted to make sure that we kept our kupuna safe. The limuhui has been still growing out limu. We have a partnership with Silai Park where they allow us to use some of their tanks to grow out some limu. So the kupuna often get to help us make lei and bring it out, and we kind of just do it in a small setting. So we're hoping to be able to, once Omicron and COVID settles down a little bit, host some limu. 2022, we also declared as the year of the limu with a larger PUA network and limu hui that's statewide. And so we've been trying to host whatever events we can to help to teach people about limu throughout the state.
All right, thank you, Kaika. For our learning, we're gonna go through kind of the basics of where we are, right? Where are we right now? Who can tell us where we are? Waimānalo, correct. We are in the fishing village of Kukui. Olelo mai, Kukui.
Kukui.
Kukui is the name of the fishing village that existed here. Yeah. And so just to get our bearings straight, we're gonna start all the way on that point. We can take a look at the point out there. That's Wailea Point. We move up the Kaiva Ridge line, parts of it. When it comes down that little slope, that becomes Kalua Opele. Moving across the horizon up to all the way out there, Mount Olomana. Yeah, and then we have Pukui, the second mount. Then we have Ahiki, the third mountain. Yeah, so when we think about that space, we don't want to call it three peaks. That's not its name. It has the name. Yeah, so use the Olelo, right? So we have Olomana, Pukui, Ahiki. Then we have that long ridge that travels up. That's Pu'uloa. We get up to the top of Lanipo. That is our boundary marker between us and parts of Mauna Lili. Coming across in this beautiful cloud bank up here is Pu'uokona. And then you move across to where we have right here. We start off on this far right side. If you can see, this is Napaliokau. So we have Nu'ukawila. The second peak here is Paliuli. Then we have Kukui right here in the middle. It's our biggest, most prominent ku'u for us. And then this far one on the left is Milo. Yeah. So each of these ku'u have a name, and they're very, very important. We teach our keiki that when you're out in the kai and you're looking back at Waimānalo, Kukui guides you back to shore. Yeah. And so when you're out there staring at the water, Looking back this way, Kukui will be your marker to get back into space. Yeah. Moving across, you get out to Makapu'u Point, right? And then you get to the 4 islands. Who knows the name of the 4 islands out there? Name one. Yeah. Maui. Oh, yeah. Maui is a little bit farther, but you are absolutely correct. Rabbit Island, my kai. Most people will know it as Rabbit Island. That's absolutely correct. And we're going to teach you a different name today. Okay? So, Rabbit Island, that big island there, its name is Manana. Yeah, Olalamai, Manana.
Manana.
Next to it is Mokuohope. Small
Mokuohope.
little islands out there. There's 2 tiny little islands, Mokuohope.
Mokuohope.
And there's an even smaller one, Kakalaioa.
Kakalaioa.
And then that Shark Fin Island, which we learned last year from somebody who created a, what is he called? Stingray Island? Yeah, no. Okay. We don't get to go make up names. Yeah. That is Ko'ohio Ka'ipu. Yeah. Ko'ohio Ka'ipu. Okay? We are in the space of Kukui at the pond known as Pāhonu. Yeah. The wind that greets us here, as Kaika mentioned, we have a wind that carries across Waimānalo Bay. That was Lipu'upu'u. Right here in this specific pali, we have Alo Pali. That's the name of the wind here. And then for those of you that understand our Ahupua'a boundary that exists kind of on the far side in Mauna Lua, that is Ihilawakea. That is the wind that blows past Ka'ivi. Yeah? Why is that all important? It's a bearing for us as Waimānalo residents, as Waimānalo natives, as Kanaka, to make sure that we have a space that we're grounded in. Yeah. So wherever you are in your space, in your community, in your home, it's important, at least to us, that you find the things that connect you to that space. Your wind name, yeah? The rain that we're gonna feel today is known as Apuakea, yeah? It has a reference to name, and that's the reference we use to our space and our identity, yeah? So that's the challenge that we like to give to people is go out into your community, find the kupuna or the makua or even our opio that are doing research and ask them, what are those names? Because we have to perpetuate those names, yeah? Rabbit Island is absolutely correct. It's a representation of an era that functioned as sugarcane, yeah? And so that's where we've evolved from. Yeah? Pāhonu itself is a space that was sanctioned or brought to life by a chief and a li'i named Kukui. Some people have heard it as Kui Kui, yeah? And his chief is Pāhonu. Ta-da! Yeah. So when you think of Pāhonu, and we take those 2 words, Pa and Honu, it's an enclosure or an enclosed space. What do you think it held? Honu. What's Honu? Turtle. Okay. So the understanding we've learned through the years in research is that Pāhonu was a turtle pond. Now, when we think of a turtle pond, do we say, oh, the turtles were raised and bred here? No, we have no evidence that shows that. What we do have is evidence that our Lavaita, our fishing people, would have been given the kuleana to go out and catch honu, and they would have brought that honu into these ponds. Now we have 2 different ponds here. One is a smaller pond and then our larger pond. So we believe that the smaller pond held the smaller turtles. The larger pond was more where they would have selected turtles to consume. Yeah, and that's something that we have come to learn is that the kuleana of the ali'i was not just to provide for the community, but he had his own little ice box here of turtle meat. Turtle meat was only allowed to be consumed by the ali'i in our time, yeah? And so in other Polynesian cultures, turtle meat's consumed regularly. Here in Hawaii, what we've learned is that our ali'i, our chiefly class, were the only ones to consume turtle meat, yeah? So much so that it was kapu, you could be put to death for it, yeah? And so this was a space that we believe Kui Kui and Pāhonu would have hosted others. When they came into our community, they would have been able to consume turtle, but it was his Costco right here, yeah? That's what this was. So just because it was the housing of turtles doesn't mean that it was only for turtle. Naturally, the fish would have been here. Naturally, our crustaceans would have been here. Anybody who's dived out here, you know that the taco runs out here. Yeah, and so it's a whole mixture, an ecosystem within itself. We learned that the creation of Pāhonu could be even dated farther back than that. When Ku'ula from Maui, who built the first fish pond, right? When his son Ai was tasked with teaching the Lahui and the Pai'aina how to weave wool, it is said that they came here, and this was the first pond built on Oahu, which we thought was really, really interesting. Makes sense because you start from Maui, you reach Oahu, and you just go, right? Just jam. And so turtle has become a really important part of our functions here in Waimānalo, not just from the perspective of conservation, but just from the perspective of mo'olelo and understanding where the turtle sits in our kuleana, but also in our community's history, yeah, our mo'olelo of the turtle. And so we're so blessed that we have those privileges here in Waimānalo. Our kuleana has morphed into the keepers of this space, right? The builders of this wall. And so we're gonna spend some time a little bit later today really giving you the chance to weave stone into this wall, yeah? To not just come here and pick up rock and move rock where we sit, but it's about weaving your lives together and weaving the mo'olelo together, yeah? So you're gonna all have the privilege today of placing stone in the wall. And that's a huge thing for us because it is a privilege. Many of us have spent years in study trying to understand and bring this lifestyle back to life. And so pretty much what you see on like this half of the circle is most of our haumana that have been taking on the kuleana of learning, yeah? As you can see, it's a mixture. Kane, wahine, makua, opio, kupuna. We're not picky because in life ways, everybody gotta work, yeah? And so we'll spend some time getting to know and being acquainted with each of them in the future. But for right now, we're gonna take the time to introduce ourselves, okay? We are big advocates for language. And so, hiki a oi ke olelo, hiki, yeah? Ke olu olu, e ha'i olelo ke la mea. Please share your voices in Hawaiian if you can. If you speak a different language, bring that into this space, yeah? We wanna champion native languages, okay? Mahalo nui. Okay. So we ask people to share their name. Where are you from? Yeah. If you're not from Hawaii, where do you come from? If you are from Hawaii, what place? Yeah. Bring that energy and mana into this space. From there, we like to talk a little bit about intentionality. Why did you come today? Yeah. I believe the majority of us are here to learn through the wonderful works of Mr. Dan here. Yeah, and just to study and be in this element of learning and technology, and how do we elevate ourselves as people? But what is your why? Why did you come? Yeah, we vocalize these things out loud because our kupuna lay in the sands beneath us. Our kupuna lay on Manana, where the burials still exist. Yeah, and so we want this environment, everything elementally, to be connected to us. Yeah. That gives us the foundation to stand on, right? When we think about this word or the phrase that says you're standing on the backs of your kupuna, we mean it, yeah? If our kupuna are buried in these sands and we are here standing on this shore, we stand on our kupuna. And that is how we want to perpetuate that learning, yeah? That we are always held up by our kupuna and then our kuleana is forward 8 generations, okay? So we have to olelo, speak yourself into this space. Leo Nui, use your outdoor voice, okay? So that we can get that language pushed across. And then we'll just go around until everybody is called. We spend a lot of time on introduction. And the purpose of that is it's very, very critical to the foundation in which we will build. These stones are the same stones that were handled 800 years ago by our kupuna of this space. Not a single rock has been brought in by Home Depot, okay? All of this is from this space in Waimānalo, yeah? The rock behind you in their concrete walls are probably the second pond, yeah? So we wanna kinda encourage Kanaloa to receive that back. We just only want to be back, yeah? One day it might already, I don't know. But we want to spend the time to make pa'a, the weaving that we want to create today, okay? So we'll go from there. Everybody's gonna have a chance to go. If you're shy, get over it. Yeah, because this is not the place to be shy. Mai hila hila menalahui. Yeah, we want everybody to be a part of this family. Okay. So who would like to bless us with your leo first? Or should we start with our hui first? They're just as nervous as you guys. On the windward side, I literally am standing on my being here, and I'm here for the food. Left or right, empty space. Yours, King.
Buhay, ako si Tony, taga Philippines. Nakako diri para makatulong sa Hawaii. I'm from the Philippines, and I'm here to be here and just to learn about the culture of
Go ahead, Mark.
Hello everyone, I'm Marissa. Born and raised in Waimānalo, but I reside in Pāhonu. I'm here today to connect with Pāhonu and this.
I'm Spencer. I'm from Edmonton, Maryland. Hello, Spencer.
Run Sam, Parker, Massachusetts. I'm here to learn. It's like, there's not something new. Today was so that's awesome. And also, we got a little rainbow, maybe keep back there. Yeah, check out some rainbows, get wet, and have a good time and get in touch with me.
Yo.
Hello, I am born and raised in Waimānalo, and I'm here to help and do whatever I can.
Hello. Hello.
My name is Kira, born and raised, born in Indiana, raised in Florida, and currently living in Waikiki. Here to support.
Hey, I'm gonna stop you right there just because we have a wonderful opportunity for us to continue our learning today. As we know, our kuleana here started with the understanding of Honu and being Pāhonu, it was always a means of protecting and then taking. Today, through a partnership with our Sea Life Park friends, we're gonna be a part of a release of 2 of our Honu from our breeding program, okay? And so we're gonna have everybody come up against the wall as our partners bring these Honu out. For us, it's a very special moment because we're putting Honu back into this ecosystem. The limu that we plant is simply one piece of that ecosystem. Without the grazers like our Honu, we wouldn't have the opportunity to understand the ecosystem in its complexities, yeah? So we're gonna give them some time. Typically with Honu release, we kind of wanna be in space, in presence. Yeah, just kind of take it all in. I don't know that there's like no rules that say you cannot take pictures or anything, whatever. Okay, but we want to be as present as possible. These Honu are hopefully going to be the Honu that will be the ones to perpetuate their lifestyle back into our spaces. Yeah. So Gather up if you want to. Our Homana and our Kiki come to the front. We just kind of take it all in.
When you guys learn about the drones a little bit later today, we'll explain kind of what the drone is doing, trying to capture some of the release data of where the turtles are going to go after they get released. I don't know if everybody heard that, but I hope you did. We are in a partnership with Waimānalo Limuhui and Sea Life Park. They've been raising Pāhonu to be released. We're gonna scoot back a little bit, okay? Here, you guys can stand right up here. Let that scoot over too.
We'll make room.
Let's stay back, guys. Go and go. We're gonna give space to the Honu,
Yep. We want to give as much space as possible, but we want you to enjoy the learning. We want you guys to keep the intentions in your mind. Make sure that these turtles grow nice and big, that they're healthy, that the environment supports their growth, yeah, and that they come back to this space and come say hi to us later.
Right now their Inoas are 5 years. Their Inoa is 5 and 12, so they need names too. They need a name. They're 1.5 years old. They're still babies.
Anything else you guys want to share with the group as far as the program, if you guys want to see? Or...
Well, I don't know if you all are familiar with the program at Sea Life Park, but we have a breeding population of turtles. We have 14 turtles. We have 9 females, 5 males, and every year they lay eggs on the beach. So when they lay their eggs, they dig a nest just like they would on any other beach, and the turtles hatch naturally. Most of the turtles are released shortly after hatching within 48 hours, but we keep some of them to be educational ambassadors and help teach people and allow people to make a connection with them, a real connection up close and personal, and we'll bring our juvenile turtles out for people to touch and interact with. And we know that by interacting with nature, people value it more. Having the turtles in our care for a short amount of time doesn't hinder their survival ability at all. These guys are instinctual animals. They've never seen their parents, so they already know what to do. So leaving them head out now won't impact them at all. They'll be just fine. We hope. But most turtles, less than 10% of all hatchlings, will survive to adulthood to reproduce. So it's important for the program at Sea Life Park to release their animals to help support the wild population. And over the past, about 40 years now, Sea Life Park has released over 17,000 hatchlings. And the turtles, the sea turtles in Hawaii are doing so much better now. Their population has increased for efforts like this, but more importantly, for efforts from all of you and us in our population here in Hawaii, taking care of the turtles, honoring their nesting beaches, keeping our distance, and generally doing everything that we can to care for them and ensure their health and longevity. So yay for you guys. Pat yourselves on the back. Thank you for inviting us here today. This is really special.
Mahalo to you, yeah.
So we're gonna let our Sea Life Park friends go ahead and do what they came to do. We're not gonna hold them up any longer. So we want to make sure we can all just, again, intentionalize what we want to see the future of these ponies to be. Yeah, and then spread that out when they go. We'll give them some time to go out into the water. Okay. We want to still give ourselves some space even when they get into the water, but we can move in after they kind of make some distance. Okay.
We've happy to come by and let you guys see them up close as well. And if you'd like to reach out and touch their shell, you're welcome to. Everybody real quick before they get out.
Maybe you have the line over there.
beautiful. Hey, I want to swim. I want to swim.
I want to give you a high five. If you guys done, there's other people too, friends, not friends here.
Okay, Koa, back up. Let other people come in.
Once you get the one,
So beautiful.
yeah, it's illegal. Maybe that they want to get away, and they just respond to their strong already.
You're ready. You're ready to go.
Even our adults and Makua, please, if you want to, make yourself in.
We all know we're not supposed to touch the Honu once they're out in the wild. So this is your chance.
We don't want to see you on the news.
Or on Instagram, we got to report you.
And these girls like how fast they're
Are you guys getting all of this on Zoom? I hope this is coming through. Awesome. Awesome, Christina. Thank you. You see their little claws on their flippers? It's cool, huh?
Yeah.
What a beautiful guy.
I wish
Oh. Special, huh? Give me on the Zoom. You got a selfie. Say hi to the Zoomers. They're excited to see you too. They wish they came now. Yeah, let's let them go. Let's let them go.
Mudan.
You're free. Kaimana's going to try to track the path of the turtle, and we'll get waypoints showing which way the turtles go when they're released. So.
Oh, that turtle up there?
Yeah.
Oh, he's really high up.
Mahalo nui for that. Mahalo nui. I bet they can find their way pretty easily. They're not going to be nearly as clumsy as we were trying to climb over here to the pond.
Yeah, those divers are gonna find them.
Yeah, those divers might get to see them. That'll be fun.
Yeah, and it's taking them a second to find out where they are.
Yeah, that's right. They're getting oriented to their space just like us.
Kumudan.
Is he
Yes.
gonna actually fly far out?
Yes.
Do you look out in the sky? Look at the sky straight across. Do you see the turtles in the sky and all the kupuna?
I love it. I love that noise. That's beautiful. You're right.
Do you want it?
No, it says, look at the gathering of the Honu in the clouds in the sky and the kopuna here blessing it.
And mahalo for the oli. Mahalo for the oli.
Ke aloha nui, kala mai ka hiki ole ke hui kino. A ka aia pu. Me ke aloha.
What you said you knew what school I go to?
Do you go to school in Waimānalo?
Yes.
Kamangama Honua?
Yeah. But do you know which one?
Oh,
There's two.
Ooh, there's two.
Yeah.
I don't know which one.
Kindergarten and there's 7th grade. Which one?
Oh, kindergarten.
No, I'm 10 years old.
Nice.
What are you thinking? You can be in 7th grade. Yeah, I know. I'm in 4th. I'm almost in 5th. I said it goes up from 3rd grade to 7th grade. Did you know sea snails has some bad stuff that you can eat and watch? This is it. Watch it. He's spelling out all the bad stuff. Watch it. I don't want to touch that stuff. Where did they go?
I don't know, but if you follow the drone's doing its best to follow the Honu. So if you look under the drone, then you can find it. Yeah, I think they made it out, or one of them did at least.
Drone have a Honu detector?
No, we're not quite that advanced, but it can track objects, but not. It's pretty hard once it goes into the water and starts turtling around. Has a hard time tracking young kids and turtles.
You know what was cool, Uncle Dan? One time, me and my friend were at the beach and we saw a manta ray close to shore. Or we saw a ton of them. And my friend's like, let's go see them. And I'm like, you want to get smacked in the face? And
Not
he's
by
like,
a manta
no.
ray. It's funny.
But he still tried to, and he got very,
All right, again, we're going to hold on to them, in thought. But we do want to allow our Sea Life Park friends to get on with their kuleana for the day as we get on with ours. So can we give our Sea Life Park friends a round of applause, a hand, please? Mahalo for them. Thank you guys for your work. Thank you so much for your work.
one of them still in there.
Yeah.
Not like leave.
He's like, I don't want to leave.
One of the friends made it out of the pond, but another one of the friends, turtle friends, decided he wanted to hang out with us. So.
Put me back in the bin.
Food was so much easier to get.
He's like, I don't have to run from his predator. I can get unlimited food. Put me back in the bin.
I don't know if you can see it, but we are flying a drone right now. Kaimana, you're not on the Zoom yet, huh? We could do it later. We could do it next flight. So we'll have Kaimana join the Zoom from the drone, and you'll be able to see Pāhonu from the sky. So hopefully the connection remains good. What's up, Henry?
In process, I know it's going to be hard to refocus, but come back into our people, please.
All right, we're gonna finish with introductions. I know it's probably really hard to hear everybody in the space, and I want you guys to feel welcomed and included in this space as much as is possible in Zoom. But I really appreciate you guys being here and dealing with whatever tech issues we have. I hope it's still a great experience.
Okay. If we can kind of regather our thoughts, we want to sit in that reflection, that we participated and we're a part of this. Remember when we talked about it being a privilege to be here? This is the privilege that we get to share. Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and go back to our stopping point. Thank you so much for your patience, everybody.
I'm gonna bring it back then.
Say Shanghai, China. Woo!
That's my boy.
Yeah. You were born in Taiwan? What do your parents do?
We get around.
Mahalo.
Florida, here visiting my friends.
Beautiful, mahalo.
My name is Tiana, this is my son Noah, and we're excited to learn.
Mahalo.
Battery level is low. The aircraft will go to the home point in 10 seconds.
No, I'm not. I'm in the yard. I don't want to land it right next to everybody because it's loud. It's like right there. Yeah, it's right there. Mahal.
From Maui. And this is my daughter Inikia, and I also am a fish pond in PK.
I can't believe I missed the freaking.
Yeah, this fish pond that's very famous.
But let me take off my mask, bro. I can't be wearing a mask. Fuck, whatever. Just gotta hold them like this. Shit.
I'm so happy you're here. I'm Jenny. My son Ko is back here now.
Hello.
Mahalo.
Hello, my couple. My opportunity to learn. We used to come out here a lot during 2020. So recently, so it's really cool to learn about. Originally from Rhode Island. I'm here to learn, and it is a real privilege, so thank you.
My name is Stephen. Here to learn.
I guess last from New York, and here to learn some of our. This is Sebastian, who's shy, and we're in New York, and we live here right now.
Mahalo.
Share space with all of you and to get to know this part of the Aina a little bit better and to find with the people and the Aina.
Mamay kako, mahukiyo, sa kubitatengan, kako o hana me kaya ay no yo tui, mahalo ya o na kiai na kahukiyo wani. Kuyo mamo kuhine mako,
Aloha, my name is Nehal. I'm born and raised in Haida, but now live in Pāhonu. My family, I'm here to learn more and appreciate this place.
Mark from Pāhonu.
Cole, you want to go again? Nah. Aloha, my kako. I'm Dan Kinzer. I was born in Santa Monica, California, and live in Makiki with my family now. And obviously spent some time in Taiwan and China and a few other places around the world. But this feels like home, and I'm here because I was invited by these amazing people to come and learn. And I've been wanting to get out here for a long time. So when they said yes, when I asked if they would join in this project, I was so excited. And I'm so glad this day is here. And already it's been really magical, and it's made magical by you, of course, Kimiona Ikaika and your team, but also by all of you. So it's a real blessing to me to see you guys here. So mahalo for that.
Kelohanu ya kako. Wano Kimiona, kupawa kia aino Waimānalo, ma wai kupanahane. O Kahawai kuwai, o Waimānalo kukai, o lipu upu ku makani, o apua kia kuua, o pua kona kupu. Kelohanu ino no kia wahi no kia aino Waimānalo, mahalo no ya o no kia huiana I kia kakakiaka. I'm Kimiona, born and raised right here in Waimānalo at the base of Pu'uokona is where I'm from. Kahawai is my water. Waimānalo Bay is my ocean. Lipu'upu'u is my wind. Pu'uokona is my mauna. The Apuakea is my ua, my rain. And I'm just so blessed and privileged to have this space be a forever home for us here in Waimānalo. Mahalo nui everybody for joining us this morning for a day of learning and service. Thank you.
Hey again, Inspector Rogerson. I appreciate you folks all being here. Born and raised right down the street, and looking forward to a good day. Good morning, everyone. My name is Pāhonu.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I told you. Where's my top? Where's my top?
He's like, where's
Just
my
stay
top?
where you are. We'll just let him chill out and figure out, get his bearings in.
I think he wants the tub.
He probably does.
Oh my God, he actually is coming back for the tub.
No, he's coming back because of all of you. He loves you all. Made friends.
Oh my gosh, Tubby.
What a show stealer. We're in Pico, brah.
Oh my God.
Oh. You got a scolding from Kimiona. You're in trouble.
Beat it. Get in the water. Let's give him some space. Give him some space.
Whoa, buddy.
Where am I? Start walking.
He's going. Whoever is.
I currently live permanently as
Oh,
today my intentions are to make connections the past and the future.
Mahalo.
I don't believe that there is a me without a we, and this is my community.
Yo.
Good morning. My name is Mary. I'm from Pāhonu. My why. Culture, but as a person, I'm very thankful for, but also to protect the past, the present, Waimānalo that I work with. Millie. Hi, Billy. Mahalo, Millie. Thank you. We also have some support and tech staff up here. Surprise, you're going to be on camera too.
That's Henry. Kaimana, you guys introduce yourselves.
Beautiful, mahalo. Isutai. Mahalo. Mr. Short.
Tyler, raised on the West Coast, 11 years ago.
Beautiful. Mahalo nui, everybody. Thank you guys for your time. We also want to shout out our Zoom fam. Hello, our Zoom fam. We say hi, everybody. And we got some technical staff on that Zoom call as well. We just mahalo everybody for making time to be present with us today in whatever capacity. Yeah. So mahalo for your introductions. It's good that we lay that level of foundation out. Now we're gonna kind of face our attention towards the asking of permission. Yeah, that we can enter space. So we have a pretty long list of oli that we do, but it's not that long. So we'll do kanihoalani 2 times. If you know these oli, please. Yeah, please share in that with us. Bring your leo. Kanihoalani, we do ehomai. We'll do na'au makua. And the phrase in there is going to be nakia'i o Pāhonu. We do na'au makua only 1 time. We'll do an oli that kind of honors Limu and the function of why we started what we start here. And then we'll close with an oli pale. We'll also offer anyone else that wants to offer leo or oli as a makana or as your hui to please utilize that time to do so. Before we do our oli pale and our close, I'll ask the group if anyone would like to. These are very important critical pieces and foundational stones in our work when we think about our connectivity to this space. And even though some of you may not be here in Waimānalo, you're gonna be a part of the legacy that is Pāhonu. And the intent is that you will always have a space to practice this practice. Yeah. So your kuleana of joining us today and your choice to join you today puts you in the exec club. Yeah, you can come here and be a part of this hui at any point in your lives, as well as those that come after you. Yeah, this will always be a place to welcome all of you. Okay. So mahalo nui. We're gonna face Pāhonu. You can stand where you are and just face that way. If we can remove our papale for this section of oli, that would be my party. And then if you can only with us, no shame. In other words, no shame. Yeah. Just put yourself into that learning. So take 3 deep breaths. Deep breath in. Take yourself one cup down. And anuaku, deep breath out. Anumai, deep breath in. Anuaku, deep breath out. Anumai, deep breath in. Think about the future, the past. Yeah. Deep breath out. Anuaku. Aniwalanipa. kalimu, elimu, eli inui, eli inuyo, liku gabaluanelani, e aloha, e kapu, e kuwa, aloha e, hauale doya, I hauele, ului, tole pepna, o ke kai, ayona lai. Aloha, aloha, aloha. E ohi he aloha I alai, no ke alani kuku. Olo manalai, sai ke kai ne o kai. Ia ui kanan tidai, o kuku ai na ai na mai kapuan alai. E aloha la, e aloha, e aloha la, e aloha. Yeah, thank you, Kumi. That would like to offer all these. Que akuokala ni mekahonu ila loko umanae ke kulia kula ke ulimaila io iane iko aloha e mayuka ikai e ho okilimai aloha no aloha la ke akuokala ni mekahonu Inuna ila loko manae, ke hulia kula, ke huli maila, io iane iko aloha e, ayuka ikai e ho opili mai, aloha no, aloha la e. Hanumai, deep breath in, manuaku. Manumai, manuaku, manumai, manuaku. To clap. Thank you everybody for participating in our opening. Clearly for our first timers, some of you might be, wow, that's a lot to talk about. Yeah. Guess what? We got thousands and thousands of years to catch up to. Yeah. So we got a lot to talk about. Okay, our Hana for today is going to be pretty straightforward and pretty simple. We got a lot of opportunities to just engage in rock, so we're going to have those that are interested in wanting to learn this practice You guys are gonna be with several of us. We have those that want to go and swim and take a dive out in our kite to go and retrieve rocks, because we cannot build rocks, a wall if we don't have the rocks. All of our ocean around here provide all the stones that we need to build Pāhonu. So we'll need a group of people to just kind of underwater and help us out with that. We have some native emu, or excuse me, non-native emu that is inside the pond that we want to get out of the pond today as well. So we need a small group doing that as well. We'll point all of that out. I think at some point we'll have some technology things going on. So I'm gonna turn it over to Dan maybe for that introduction.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Kaimana is going to help us this morning learn a little bit about something called drone photogrammetry. So how to use an aerial drone to create 3D maps of our spaces. So we're gonna run that practice from the beach. I think we'll probably go over to the beach and run it from there. So if you want to engage with some of the pohaku work and then come over and join us in kind of teams, we have about 4 flights to make in order to get all of the images that we need. So we'll talk you through that when you come over and visit us on the beach. You can practice flying the drone if you want to. We're a little nervous about battery life. We had to fully charge 3 batteries to try to do the work, but we'll talk you through all those kind of logistics too. The drone's going to be available for the future navigators to use, a couple of different drones. So if it's something that you are interested in learning more about today, we can talk more after today and make sure you're all set up to go. But we'll be just, I think if it's okay with Ikaika Kimiona, kind of in the corner on the beach over there, and we'll talk through the process there. So just come on over. We'll be going up, taking those flights. Come on over and ask what we're doing. You can get on the controls, help us out. But yeah, Kaimana is going to be helping us with that. And Henry's going to be working with photogrammetry and maybe a little bit of LiDAR, some simple apps on our phone. And then this, instead of having a drone take all of these images of a space, you can go up close to a pohaku or a coral head or a piece of limu, and you can create a 3D model of that. That can live in virtual worlds. That can be something that you can study in digital spaces. It helps preserve our space. As more and more people talk about spending time in virtual worlds, it'd be nice if artifacts of our spaces here could live in those spaces too. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing, and we'll just be on that little corner. So come and join us. It's going to be fun.
So our work days are pretty relaxed. Okay, we're not a hui that's like, get over here and move the rocks. You go where you're called to be. Okay, move when you feel like you need to move. If you need to come out of the ocean, or if you need to just sit in the ocean, do it. Yeah, this is lifelong. So you're not going to accomplish everything today. Okay, we're going to do this for the rest of our lives. Yeah? And so it's not a rush. Yeah, it's about creating a pilina and a space that you can connect yourself to. Talk to different people in this space. Yeah, plenty of people from all around different backgrounds. Go learn something from someone and go teach something from to someone. Yeah, be a part of that learning. Be organic in that sense. We have some goals, as I shared, in different spaces, but it's about making these things important to you. Okay. We'll spend the day for the most part together on the far side of the pond. We're going to be doing it on that side. And then we'll bring everybody together when it's just about time. We want to close off in people as well. Now we'll finish off together as we started. And then we'll kind of just chill out and have a good day. Yeah. Safety is super important for us. We have several keiki here. So for all of us, it's makua. That's our kuleana, is to take care of all of our keiki. Yeah, it's not one person. It takes a village to raise a child. So we all have kuleana to the safety of our people. Okay. Rocks are not friendly when it comes to moving. They're heavy. Here in Pāhonu, they got a lot of little stuff on them that can slice you open fairly simply. We all have the scars and bruises to prove it. If you want to see, let us know. Okay. But really, really important to know your limit. Yeah. Very, very important to know your limit. Every single stone on the beach has value in this wall. Okay. So just because you see the small little itty stones doesn't mean it's not important. We got to go in the wall as well. Okay. So we're going to set up some stations on the far side. We're going to have everybody walk through this space. We'll talk a little bit more about its history and its function, and we'll just get you guys into function. Okay. So grab your belongings, and we're going to head to the far end of the pond. Mahalo. You got to only on, right?
No, you got to get them.
Just got to do it. One day. Why?
Aloha fam. I am going to ask that, let's see. I'm going to ask that we take just a little bit of a break so that I can charge the phone and get reset up in the other spot. But I hope the coverage is going well. I hope you got to hear some of the oli and the permission that we asked to come into this space. The wind is picking up a little bit, so I don't know how the audio is going to go, but I would say it right around 10 o'clock. So I think that's in about half an hour. I'll say we're going to start at 10 o'clock and we'll be doing the drone lesson. You'll get to see again the pond from the sky. But and I hope you guys can join us back. But we'll be back on from 10 to 11. I do need to charge my phone. So yeah, mahalo everybody. Are there any questions from you guys or anything? Any mana'o? Anything you guys want to add before I sign off?
Daniel, so we don't have to join again? Should you just leave the Zoom on?
I think if Christina is still on and she's willing to do that, and because she's the host, then I can do that. Yeah, Christina's saying she can leave it on, and so we can leave the Zoom on so you don't have to go and sign back on. I may sign off and sign back in because I'm gonna have to charge my phone up, but the Zoom should stay on because Christina's the host. So you guys can talk story if people want to stay on, connect across your hui, have a good time in this space. And that way, if we can get started a little bit earlier, that way I can come back in and you guys will still be here. So if that works for you all, you can take a break now or talk story with one another. I would love to hear that. And does that sound okay? Does that work?
Yeah, how long before the next session you think?
About half an hour. Cool.
Okay.
I'm so glad you guys are here. How's it, brother? So glad you guys are here and that this is working. So yeah, hopefully fingers crossed it keeps working and you guys are able to have a good experience. Yeah. Oh, Christina, no worries. I hope your sore throat feels better. You guys can see it's fun. That was cool too. Really cool, really well facilitated by Kimiona. It's amazing. So I love hearing from people who have such their identity is so connected to their place, and Kimiona certainly brings that. So I'm walking through one of the openings in the wall, the makaha, inside the big pond at Pāhonu, and I'll be back on as soon as I can, probably 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
Mahalo, everyone. Hey friends, if you are there, I did find my charger. So I'm charging while on Zoom. Kimiona's just giving some logistics. It's pretty windy, so I don't know how well you'll hear, but invite you into the space.
Anybody got any questions, comments, or concerns that I can answer? Or I can push over to Franklin to answer? Yes. Next question. Okay. Yes. I think up in the front, the only native people that we'll find is the Bill, but that's okay if you take it out. No, then, yeah. Don't stress about that one. When we get out to the backside of the pond, for those people that are diving, we do have some other native species of people. Sure, if one of us will never be able to point them out. Like if you are ashamed, get over it. Okay? It's not the place to be ashamed, because we're not ashamed with us, okay? And then the joke in our movie, if you can hear us singing, and then we have handsome over there. This is Khalil. Hi.
Hey, Khalil.
We come to really admire and appreciate as a resource. And I don't like to spend a lot of time, but
Yeah, I'm still.
Yay.
Sure, I got to see this for those.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. You made it.
Just so you know, we're down one battery.
One battery dead.
Yeah.
Maybe at lunch, if we can make it. Well, what do you think? Should we go recharge now? Because we're on a little bit of a break on the Zoom. You guys are all live on the Zoom. Wave to the Zoomers. Give them the Pāhonu view. Oh, yeah, what do you think? We can either. So I don't want you to have to run all the way back. Go till like 11. We'll probably fly from like 10 to 11. Try to get those 4 flights done. But we don't have, but it's basically, we just want to get those 4 flights. So we need enough battery for those 4 flights, but it's getting windy. It's going to burn battery a little bit faster. Down one, we have 2. See how far we get. If we go back, we charge a bunch. Just come back. Actually, last flight. You can stay such. Or even if it's just like right after we go charge. It does take a little while to charge. I think it'll be all today. If you want to get some of them. Yeah, that's smart. In the beach park parking lot, a good chance something will get stolen. You just left in the bed of your truck, and it looks expensive. I mean, I would probably steal it.
That's why I just.
Hey, sweet. Hey, everybody. You can meet a very special guest. This is Alaya Kinzer. This is my daughter. Yeah. Say hi to everybody. You having fun?
Aloha.
Hey, Auntie Kate says aloha. She's in Hilo. She's in Puna. The big island. So, did you like those turtles? Is that pretty cool? Yeah, those were cool. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. What's been your favorite part today? Were you a little bit grumpy about waking up early and coming? Are you in better attitude now? The turtles cheered her up, and those beautiful Odu from Oh, she wants to fly the drone, so I'll be back on in just a minute. We're gonna go get all that stuff set up, and I'll see you guys in a second. Thanks, Christina. For those of you who aren't familiar with this area or are fans or not fans, just interested in celebrity or presidents or whatever, this is property of President Obama. This is gonna be his future home. So we sometimes jokingly refer to Pāhonu as Obama's swimming pool or Obama's pond, but the family is trying to work closely with. There's been some controversy in the community, but he is trying to work closely with the Waimānalo Limuhui and Kekulanui Waimānalo to help support the caretaking of this space. So interesting story. We won't get into it right now, but yeah, I'll turn the camera around, and while we're getting ready, you all can still enjoy. Oh, it won't let me turn it around. Y'all can still enjoy a nice view of the pond and the crew doing some good work. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get the drone in there too, and the crew out working. I know, we wish you were here too, Paige. One of these days, we want to come over to Puna and do some work with you guys too. All right, mute myself.
team's still yellow. Okay. But I even exist. Do you even wash your clothes? Or the rumors true you don't wash your clothes the next week?
we're not going to engage in the science just yet, but we're going to engage in the art of drone flying because Elia really wants to give it a try. So we have with us today a Phantom 4 drone. That's a little bit newer version than what Kaimana is going to fly. He has the Phantom 3, and we're going to show Elia the controls and let her kind of experience that. Everyone else is so much more excited about the pohaku and the limu and building the pond wall, so which I'm stoked for. I think that's as it should be. But we still will get the drone up and zoom in probably about 10 minutes or so. So that's coming. Yeah, is there a question? I don't know if I saw.
Kumudan, I was just asking if your daughter has operated a drone before.
She has never. Well, did you ever fly our drone, sweetie? She did. She has a little bit of experience flying smaller drones. This will be her first time operating a drone like the Phantom 3. So she's never done it before. Kaimana is going to show her some of the tools. We're not gonna have the screen up. We're just going to use the remote control with the drone and see how Elia does. Hopefully it doesn't go into the drink. Kaimana's pretty generous, letting her give it a try. But she's flown mine before successfully, and so I do think drones are an accessible tool. I was explaining that some of our flights are going to go up pretty high, about 200 feet, 250 feet to get some of our footage. So those kinds of flights, it's harder for young people to maintain visual line of sight, which when we're flying drones, we always want to see our drone. So yeah, well, I'll try to follow along. You guys can watch.
No, thank you, because just kind of wanted to see how difficult it might be and so if she can do it, then that's a good thing for us.
That's right. I think that's a good way to think about it. If she's able to do this, which she will be, you all are definitely well suited. Everyone in the family, everyone in the hui can have turns flying these drones. It's a great question page. I think I just saw in the chat. You do have to register. Any drone that weighs over half a pound needs to be registered with the FAA. And I've actually included some of the helpful links to be able to get you pass a safety test online. It takes about 20 minutes to take, and it teaches you about controlled and uncontrolled airspace and some of the rules of recreational drone flying. And so that link is on Mighty Networks, and then you need to register your drone to be fully legal. There's a lot of people who don't, but I strongly recommend doing that. And following all the safety protocols. So we had to check in, for example, because Bellows Air Force Base is right over there, just across the bay. We had to make sure that we were in uncontrolled airspace. No matter what, we can't fly over 400 feet. So we need to keep our recreational drone flying under 400 feet. To get a commercial drone pilot license, which I hope some of our Hui members do, because there are a lot of interesting work opportunities in Hawaii right now, and it's something you can do without a high school to college diploma or degree, and it's a lot of fun and it's important work. And so that costs a little bit of money. You take about $180 to pass a test. You pay a sort of license fee each year, but it's relatively easy to do. So yeah, maybe this experience for some of us will be an opportunity to sort of up our drone game.
Kumudan, can you send us like information about those licenses too? I think you said you also put the information about the 20-minute certification that you have to do, right?
Yeah, that's on the recreational drone flying is on Mighty Networks, but absolutely, I'll share some helpful links for finding out how to go about getting the commercial drone pilot's license. And there's a lot of online tutorials and courses for flying. There's some things you can pay for, but it's really just about practicing, getting out there and flying the drone. The controls are not that difficult. Drones are getting actually easier. The better and better they get, the easier and easier they are to fly. So yeah, it's a lot of the controls on many of these drones, including the ones we're flying today, you can have automatic settings. It'll almost fly itself for you and return back home. Kaimana's a pretty decent pilot, so it's a little bit easier to just do things manually sometimes. But once you get into the newer drones, those can be a little pricey, but a lot of their flight settings are automatic. So it's becoming maybe too easy to fly a drone sometimes. But yeah, go ahead.
Would you be able to maybe suggest drones that might be, good for like people who are not that, looking at price and looking at what the technology and all of that and how it use and operation? Would you be able to maybe suggest some?
I will, yeah. I'll put that out. I'll put that out in our I'm going to do a summary post on Monday of last week and this coming week. And I will include in that kind of some links to some reviews of different drones and some of my own personal recommendations. And then maybe we can even create a poll and see if anyone else in the Hui has advice. So I think you can see Elia, she's on the controls now. She's flying it. So a little squirrely, but she's a little squirrely sometimes. That's just how it goes. Good job, sweetie.
Yeah, it's all just
You're being cheered on, Elia. Are you nervous? Don't crash. Don't hit me. You're doing great, sweetie. Good concentration.
it's easier to fly.
Oh, it's fun. Oh, you're going so fast. You gotta send that to me.
Yeah, I'll get you all.
Henry Kaimana, this is my wahine, this is Aaron.
Hello.
Mrs. Kinzer, I guess. And this is our friend Christy, she's visiting from Florida. Good job, Alaya. You gonna take it out over the ocean? Don't crash into President Obama's house, you'd be in big trouble. Oh, he's gonna stay. You can stay because I'm coming up. You just might want to let him know. I can let him know. Good job, Alaya. You did it. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, we'll deal with it. He probably won't notice. Oh, we have another drone up over there. Someone else brought theirs. Cool. We'll be here this afternoon, so you can try to fly some more, okay?
Good job.
Good job, sir. What do you say to Kaimana? All right. So we're going to, thank you, sweetheart. That wasn't to any of you. That's my wahine, Aaron. I think I saw something in the chat. So I'm trying to pull that up. Oh, nice. I don't know if everyone heard I don't know if everybody heard Kaimana, but there's there are apps available that allow you to kind of practice drone flights. It's kind of a drone flight simulator that's exactly the same as the DJI. DJI is probably the most well-known drone company. They really popularized low-cost drones maybe about a decade ago, probably about 10 years ago. And so a number of their drones, they have a big series of drones, and it's a good way to, yeah, we'll definitely link to that app. Also, yeah, the drones are interesting that, you know, they're not that fragile, but you do want to take care of it. Some of you will notice the case that we had the drone in kind of holds the drone right in place, doesn't allow it to sort of get shaken around or move around too much. You take the rotors, the blades off when you're storing it so that those don't get broken, the motors don't get bent. And then of course the camera you want to, with the gimbal, which allows the camera to rotate and move. But really, really cool that, yeah, you're able to fly these things and they're fairly, you know, they're fairly rugged for such cool technology. You know, they if you take care of them, they can last a long time. It's more likely that there's just going to be a cooler version you're going to want to buy that comes out before you actually break or ruin your drone. Several people do crash them, you know, especially into the water in Hawaii. So, you know, you want to be getting that practice in environments where you feel comfortable. Today, the wind is picking up, as I mentioned earlier. So the drone has to work a little bit harder. Battery life for drones still isn't that great. So right now our batteries are going to last roughly around 20 minutes on a full charge. We brought 3 out today. Fortunately, we still have 2 good ones left. So we're going to try to get the flights in that we want this morning. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. You want to go ahead and should we just send up the first flight and then put it through to the Zoom folks on Zoom? Yeah. So Kaimana is going to attach his phone. We use our phones as controllers. Oh, one of the things too, I think there was one about sensitivity in general. Most of the newer drones are equipped with several sensors to avoid collisions. So they do kind of like, you know, they'll recognize objects and things like that. And then some people too, as another point, some people are attaching their own cameras. We have the GoPro 360, the GoPro Max out today, the 360 camera. I was watching some videos this week of someone who built a little mount for his drone to mount the 360 camera, which is a pretty cool idea. So there's a lot of like low cost kind of do-it-yourself ways to play around with these technologies. And that's one of the things
we're hoping to experiment with and show off in the hui, so that people don't feel like they have to have a ton of experience. These are things that we can learn relatively quickly and try out ourselves and test. So you'll see Kaimana is bringing the drone to life, turned it on, turned the controller on. And once he's linked up in his phone, he'll join the Zoom call, and I'll mute my microphone, and we'll just be on Kaimana's microphone. I'm serving, I mentioned earlier, we always want to fly visual line of sight, right? We want to be able to see the drone in flight. And sometimes when you're busy looking at the controller and your control station, it's hard to keep track of the controller and the drone. So a lot of people fly their drone using the camera that gets streamed straight to their screen. And it's really nice to have a spotter or a visual observer that is there to kind of help keep their eyes on the drone, look out for any. For example, we have another drone here at the pond that's flying right now this morning. Sometimes you might see, we have tourist helicopter trips flying by. Sometimes those guys fly lower than they're supposed to. So you just want to be aware of what's in the area. You don't want anybody to get hurt. You don't want your drone to get broken, anything like that. So, Kaimana, I'm going to mute myself. And if you want to join the Zoom again, we can share from your screen.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do a test because I'm not sure if it's going to try and pick up the audio from this. Not that there is any audio, but it might just come out as blank.
It picks up your audio from your phone.
Okay.
Because we heard you earlier when you were flying. Yeah. And then they'll hear me too, I think. But yeah, you can talk them through what you're doing.
Okay.
Once you join. What's that? Yeah. That's true. If you want to mute come in the Zoom and mute yourself. But the cool thing, and then they'll hear you. Yeah. They'll hear you through mine.
Okay.
So, cool.
I'm just in the waiting room.
See if I can let you in. Yeah. All right, we have Kaimana joining us, and he's in the Zoom now on the iPhone that he's using to control the app. So you can see his handsome face and the palm trees there for a minute. But he'll share his screen and we'll give you the view from the drone. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was it. Nice to be able to fly from the shade. Huh? Yeah. Oh, you've got to mute yourself. Oh. There we go. Okay. Cool. Should I turn it?
Oh, yeah.
Takeoff. The home point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
You can hear it's pretty loud right when it takes off. So until he gets up high, Kaimana is going to take it up to about 150 to 200 feet. And then he's going to point that camera straight down. So we should get a nice, we're going to find a nice good point over the center of the pond. And then we'll take a photo. And then Kaimana is going to fly it over to the far corner of the pond so that we can start flying with the camera pointed straight down. We're going to fly a few lines over the pond. So we can see his elevation there. It looks like 57 meters to me. We can go a little bit higher. See if we can get the whole pond in that camera view. You guys can see some of the work crews out there working on the wall. Starting to see a nice view of Obama's house. Kaimana is just orienting that camera so we can get a good view. We're actually at 300 feet, so we're a little
Maximum
over
flight
feet.
altitude reached.
Yeah. So we might even come down a little bit.
Like 110.
Maybe 100 meters. Yeah, let's bring it up, and then maybe take it a little bit north, like a little bit towards North Shore, so that we get. Just see if we can get that whole pond in the image. Right.
Very cool. And Kaimana at any point can just tap that record button. He can be in photo mode or video mode. Can't be in both. But he's gonna, that's perfect, Kaimana. He's gonna snag a little photo, a little reference photo of the pond. Nice, you can, that's a really good one. So you saw, I just clicked there. He's in photo mode. So the reason we do photo and not video in the photogrammetry is that we're actually want to use the metadata in the photographs. So each photograph is going to come with a GPS location and an elevation. And the software in ArcGIS Drone to Map and in other photogrammetry software takes that spatial information and plots it in a 3D scene. So we're able to build a 3D model of what you're seeing in a collection of images. So you need multiple images. We'll probably take about, I don't know, about 30 images on this first flight. And then those 30 images will create kind of one layer of data points at one elevation. Then we'll bring it down to a different elevation. Let's do kind of that S, those straight lines, same kind of pattern we were flying before. So we're gonna start at the far. I think which corner do you want to start in, Kaimana?
I feel like if I do that.
So we're gonna fly the drone back towards Kiona Beach Park. That's heading north from where we are right now. You can see the video moving there. And we're gonna start taking photographs maybe once like the second pond is kind of in the middle. Yeah, kind of close, kind of right around there, Kaimana. And then we're gonna fly the drone back in this direction and take a photograph. We need our photographs to overlap by about 60 or 70%. So you don't fly that far, right? This is what these photographs will allow you to create the 3D map of your place. Could do a terrain map, could do a building. We're hoping that we're going to be able to capture the rock wall because they've built the rock wall up so much higher now. And so Kaimana's going to fly over just a little bit, take another photograph. It's kind of scientific, tedious work. It's not your typical like, wow, look how fast I can go kind of drone flying. But Kaimana's doing a great job snagging these photos. We want plenty of overlap. You can't really take too many photos, but obviously you want to think about data storage and battery life. It's all kind of a balance. So we fly this line and then we're going to move out just a little bit, right? Once we fly this full line past the pond, we'll fly out maybe about 30 or 40 feet, 10 or 15 meters. And then we'll fly the line back in the other direction. And again, this first flight is really high up. We're over 300 feet in the air, 330 feet in the sky right now. And we're getting these images straight down. All the images we take after this layer will be taken at an angle, keeping the pond kind of in the center.
That's good too.
Yeah, right there's probably good. You can go back down from there. And so hopefully we collect enough images of this pond from enough angles that we almost are capable of building a virtual world. Yeah, we could actually create a virtual Pāhonu. We could enter it into a space like Unity. We can actually start imagining past, right? We can go deep into the past. We actually have the Ohana Iokepo Guerrero. I've worked with Maui and Lilia. They've been developing a really cool game with kind of a similar concept. And these tools will actually allow us to capture our actual environments, our real environments, and move them into digital space. And I think if we're going to be playing video games, I agree with Maui and Lilia. They ought to look like our places. They ought to look like our homes, and they ought to look the way that we want them to look in the future too. So it can be a really powerful imagination visualization tool. It's a beautiful place. Wonder if we'll spot that turtle still flying around or still swimming around.
So Kumudan?
Yeah.
It looks like he went one way and then he's going back the other way. And that's
yeah.
Okay. And then
the way it's almost like an S. Yeah. You almost want to draw like kind of a back and forth pattern across the pond. So we'll probably do 2 more lines after this one. Kaimana will, once he gets to the end here, he's almost there. He's going to scoot out again, another maybe 40, 50 feet with the drone. And then he's going to do another row of photographs. This might be the last one that we need. This might be the last row that we need at that layer. But you can do that again, like depends on how big of an area you're trying to model. A lot of times we use this technique on a building, for example, in the construction industry, but also a lot of times we use it in city planning and agriculture, things like that. So if you wanted to really, for example, at Kako'iwi, you could create a really nice up-to-date terrain map of the Lo'i and the Auai system and everything else there using this drone technique. So if the landscape doesn't have a lot of terrain features, if there's not a lot of elevation differences, then it doesn't necessarily work as well. But you can use the same technique to create your own up-to-date base maps as well. So if you don't just want to use the standard satellite imagery that's available, this is one technique of going out and getting the images yourself. And of course, you could do this, you know, every week, and you could see, for example, in Pāhonu, you see the sand collected in the southern corner of the pond. We're really interested in how that sand moves and how we can get some of that sand to leave the pond, repopulate some of the beach areas. So if you did this every week and then you correlated that with weather patterns and swell patterns that you've been seeing, you'd start to understand what the factors were that were influencing the sand accumulation. So pretty cool. You ready to do the lower one? Okay, yeah. Bring it down to, so Kaimana's bring it down. I can see the drone easily now. It's only about 160 or 170 feet in the sky. He's positioning it back in place to do a lower shot, and then we're gonna have to get the right camera angle. You might want to fly it out a little bit further out over the ocean.
I was thinking if I do this side first, then I ride the wind down this way.
Oh, smart. Kaimana's thinking about saving battery, so he's thinking about how do we not fight the wind? How do we go with the wind? Really smart. It's kind of like scuba diving, right? When you set out, you swim against the current so that when you're swimming back, you're not tired, right? You're not tired swimming against the current. You can just flow with the current. So you can see him shifting that camera angle a little bit. He's still at about 50 meters. So we're gonna, this is half the height that we were at. And now we're gonna go around the pond, keeping the camera kind of oriented to the center of the pond. I don't know if Kaimana is gonna try to do that automatically or if he's gonna just do that manually. But that's because we're taking photos and not video, you can do it manually. It just takes time to set up each of your shots, make sure you're getting enough overlap. And so we'll do this. It looks like we're doing pretty good on battery, actually.
Yeah, surprisingly.
Yeah, we've still got time, right?
It says we have 20 minutes left in here.
So what we'll probably do, we might actually get through all 4 of these flights that we want to do. So we just did the first flight at the highest level. Now we're down, that was 100 meters, about 330 feet. Now we're at 50 meters, right? About 165 feet. We'll do another one. We'll come down to 25 meters and do a lap around and then finally do one at about 5 to 10 meters, because that's going to give us that real sense of elevation of the rock wall here in the pond. So it should help us really. And it's nice that we're doing this as the tide's dropping. Tide's getting lower and lower, so we have more and more of the pond exposed. Pretty cool. Oh, we have a couple good looking pups coming too. Couple little young pit bulls. I think you guys can hear and see when Kaimana's taking those photos about the frequency that you want to take those photos, right? You can also see that it gives us a warning. It's detecting the wind. It knows that it's working, that it's working with the wind. It's keeping these things in mind for us. So lots of cool sensors on board, help us fly safe. So I can look straight out over the pond now, and I see we've got another drone flying a little bit lower, capturing some cool footage. How's it, brother? And we've got our drone flying just right out past the main makaha there, the biggest opening in the wall. I know this pond takes some cracks. We're never kind of low whenever we get those big north swells.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do right now. We just did we went up to, what was it, 300 feet.
We're at 100 meters, yeah. First flight, straight down shots, and then
You use LiDAR as well as the cameras.
we're not using LiDAR. You can, yeah. Especially now, LiDARs. We have a question. What's your name?
Sam.
Sam, aloha. Yeah. Question from Sam about, are we using LiDAR too, which is another that takes surface points and builds 3D models. And we're actually going to show a simple app to use a little bit later to do LiDAR. LiDAR is really powerful technology, and until recently was really expensive and difficult to use, but now it's in most of our phones, and we can use it really cheaply. There's a bunch of free apps that you can create 3D models using LiDAR in. So those are other ways too that you can try to build models of our spaces, which, that's one of the outcomes of doing this kinds of work. We also know that these maps are really valuable to communities. It helps, you can analyze these maps, and we talked about sand flow, but we know we deal a lot with flooding as well on the islands now with some of these larger rain events. With some of these swell events, you can map beach erosion. You can do a lot of interesting analysis in the ArcGIS tools that you all have available to you. So encourage you to dive in as deep as you want to go. But again, like Kimiona talked about, it's lifetime work, not something you learn in a week, but yeah, really interesting possibilities here. And so then Kaimana's gonna stay at that height and kind of do the same rectangle, just trying to keep the pond kind of in the middle. And then once we come in lower elevations, we got to start worrying about interference from these tall palm trees. We got some beautiful new trees here from some of the homes on the beach. So we have to be much more careful with our flight path. This is uncontrolled airspace, so it's not illegal to fly over people's homes like this. But in the same way that we ask for permission to enter Pāhonu, bringing that sort of aloha and approach to the work that we do. We did check in to make sure that the folks who are responsible for this property weren't going to be home or be upset by us flying drones here. So. What happened? Lost connection.
I don't think I'm in visual range of the drone, but
I see that.
oh, you do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I'm doing a bad job spotting because I'm busy yapping with you guys. So I'm gonna do a better job spotting.
I hit that tree.
No, you're above it. You're well above it. You're still at like 150 feet. Come on.
Oh, it's just the angle you're looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to hit that like rectangle shape right now, or not rectangle.
Yeah.
Rectangle shape.
Oh, this is perfect. This angle, if we get that outside wall from this angle, I think that's going to help us. We're going to get the inside wall when we fly down the middle.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fine.
You're gonna get this guy's dogs in the 3D mapping as well.
No, it's cool.
Yeah. So one thing I was wondering is like, I wonder with that mapping, what it does as far as like overlap with changing things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because like, you layered a bunch of photos in the same spot, you could just get rid of whatever was there by using the other one. Is it gonna eliminate people or whatever all is?
So Henry's asking a great question about like what happens when you deal with movement, or you get things that show up in one image and not in another one, or they're moving locations. And the software is going to have to fix that somehow. And mostly, like you would think, in most photographs, it creates like distortion or blur in the 3D model itself. You can sometimes edit some of those things out, depends on, but it's going to do, the algorithms that put together the photos are getting better at doing auto correction on small things. But when you're doing mapping at this scale, right, normally you would be tuned in, you'd be tuned in to things at a very large scale or things at a smaller scale. Pāhonu is kind of an interesting thing to try to map because of its size. It's too big to keep things from changing. But it's too small to ignore some of those smaller details. So this is kind of an experiment, but that's why we're here, right? We want to figure out how to do this in our communities and our spaces. And And it's probably not ever going to work perfectly, but how we doing? Come on. You came down to 25 meters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're down at a third layer of photographs. That's going to be even at more of a sideways angle. So the camera's looking at it even more of a sideways angle. And yeah, it's we're keeping it still in our visual line of sight. So I'm kind of looking south now in the direction of the sun. One of the things you want to be thinking about is, you know, if you're out flying in the sun, you might need some shade to be able to see your control station. But yeah, pretty cool. I'm looking out over Manana and or Rabbit Island, and you know, Kaimana could probably fly that thing. The capabilities of the drone are probably such that he could fly it pretty much all the way out to Manana. You're not supposed to. It's a bird sanctuary, so we're not going to do it. But that's about the distance. If you know this place, then you can kind of think about, oh, that's about the capabilities that the drone has. We do have another drone probably at like 10 meters. Come on, so it's below you, but it's like right below you pretty much.
If you don't mind, I'm gonna follow you from above and behind.
Okay.
And then I just want to get you on camera a little later and talk about what you're doing.
We have an awesome fellow drone pilot here helping us do some experiments. He's going to follow our drone and get some images from the air of our drone. I feel like we should return the favor. Take pictures of each other, taking pictures of each other. But absolutely, we're happy to talk about it. It's really cool. The Waimānalo Limuhui, right? They have, I think you guys saw in the opening Pico this morning, we're joined today by about a dozen or more people who regularly come and take care of this space. And that's really important part for me. Even in your own communities, it's not just about your own hui, it's about who lives and cares for and has kuleana in those spaces, and how can we start inviting them, whether they're opio, you know, keiki or kapuna or anything in between. You know, how do we fill the spaces? Kimiona put it really well, right? It's like you live life with the whole community. So it's nice to have the whole community out together. And really cool we got invited to join them today. So very cool. He's up above us right now. Really cool. You know, he came over. Tell me your name again. Tyler came over and just let us know, you know, so it's always good to communicate if you see other people flying around you. If you're other people in the area, you know, it's nice to sort of make sure that you know, people are all on the same page. Not too dangerous. If our drones crashed, we'd just be sad because they would probably just drop in the water and we'd have to go fetch them from the ocean, and they would no longer work. They don't do well after they go swimming. So we want to keep our drones out of the ocean. But yeah, Tyler's looks like an experienced pilot. He's dealing with Kaimana, who's still like, we should have put the, what do they call it when you're in student driver? Put a little sticker on the. Oh yeah, you can put a little student driver sticker on your drone. Let people know when you're learning. But I'm glad he's doing it. It's much more stress. I just get to sit here and blab on the Zoom, but Kaimana's real focused, trying to get all the right images. It'll be interesting too, you know, Henry was talking about movement and distortion, but we also have shadows and sunlight and glare to contend with, especially when you're dealing with the ocean. Mahalo, Tyler. So, you know, there's no perfect conditions. What's up, come on?
No, I'm just coming to the part where it's gonna be like I have to come back this side.
Yeah. So,
I don't know if you want to click the photos and I can just watch it in the air so I don't nail anything.
Maybe you want to come back. You want to come back the straight line.
Yeah. Or yeah, I just don't want to hit the palm trees. Or you mean like over the middle?
Yeah, we can come away. So Kaimana's noticing, like, if we come too close, it's kind of windy. Want to stay clear of the palm trees. So I think, you know, if we bring it down, you want to fly it still at the same height.
Well, it would complete the loop if we did.
Yeah. So I would say just bring it out a little bit more over the middle of the pond.
Okay.
And then that way we're not worried about it. And then point it this way instead of that way. No, that's the last one actually. Huh?
Okay.
No, you're right.
So then I'd be pointing that way.
Yeah, you can point it that way. He's going to point it towards the outer wall when he comes back in, but we just don't want to get too close to these palm trees. I think you're on a safe line, and we just fly it slow, yeah? Fly it slow.
Yeah. So. This is good.
Yeah, you're good.
Nothing. It's just.
I think you're actually higher still than all the palm trees.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Not by much on these tallest ones. So when we get closer, we maybe.
Battery level is low. The aircraft will go to
there
the
you
home
go.
point in 10 seconds.
You'd say return home.
Yeah, I just clicked no because this is on the way back to its home anyways.
Okay.
So I'm just flying it back.
So Kaimana's going to bring it back home because we had that nice little warning that it was getting grumpy, is getting a little hangry, need something to eat. Some juice. That's Henry. Henry's getting hungry and angry. That's okay. We've got another battery and we've done almost 3 full. We will have captured almost 3 full loops. We are getting kind of close to some of the new trees, so yeah, don't be nervous about this. Bringing it a little further out.
Okay.
Yeah, we can bring it home.
Okay. Or wait, I'll bring it.
You want to try to finish this? Want to try to finish this lap? So Kaimana's going to try to finish this lap. Hopefully, it doesn't crash.
Yeah, I just want to go around it just in case.
We all get the nice warning. You guys get to hear. This is what happens when you let a 17 or 18-year-old fly the drone. They're like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then we take out somebody on the beach, but it's okay. I trust Kaimana, sort of.
Like you want to land it.
Yeah, you're doing good. All right, we're bringing the drone back. You're going to see us, and then we'll take a few questions. I can take some questions. Kaimana's gonna get this. And Henry's gonna catch it, and we're gonna.
Wait, don't tell.
There we go.
I mean, that's the kill thing.
You want to? You can stop sharing screen if you want to.
I think I might get out of here. I am sore and hungry. So
Go eat. Henry's sore and hungry. That means it's time to go take care of that. And turn. Yeah, thank you. We got some good shots, yeah? Cool.
For sure.
Right on.
See you later, Mr. Kendrick.
See you, Henry. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
I appreciate you. You got your cameras and stuff? Good. Yeah. Battery said we needed to bring her home, so we're gonna change her out. But
How many passes is it required?
can I put you on the spot too, Tyler, and you and Kaimana both?
Yeah, so it kind of depends, but we did one circle around at what was it, 300 feet?
100 meters, yeah.
Yeah, and then we came down to about 25 or 50 meters and did another circle around it, and then went down to 25 meters and then did one more circle, and then we just brought it back. But we had to do one like an S turn kind of to just kind of map it shooting straight down. So that's like 4 passes.
We've done 3. We could do another at a higher elevation too, but I don't think we need at this scale. And then we'll do one more pass at probably like 10 meters, between 5 and 10 meters, to really get the height of the wall and try to get the little bit of elevation gain in this space. If you have more elevation gain, you don't have to go that low.
Is there a different camera on there than normal, or
no,
purely software?
Yeah, the software stitches. It takes the metadata, right? So really important to do photo, not video. That way, every photo has its GPS coordinate and elevation, and then it's gonna map that point that image, and then it's going to stitch those images around that point. So it's pretty impressive. And we have access through ArcGIS. They have a tool called Drone to Map that we're using. And then also Autodesk, they have a technology impact program working with nonprofits and startup companies. It's the same photogrammetry technique to build 3D models. So really powerful tools that are available to local communities if they want to use them. It's pretty neat. There's a couple other APIs and things where you can use satellite imagery, but I think there's something cool about capturing the imagery of your community yourself, right? And being able to compare and overlay and decide what times you want to do it. And, just being in control of the data you're collecting and the maps you're building. So part of the point of the Future Navigators program that we're part of, but yeah, it's cool. How about you? You work with you come out often with the Lima Hui? You just here for fun? You're part of one of our Hui?
I'm really good friends with Kimiona.
Oh yeah, cool.
So, and he's been amazing at just teaching me.
Yeah. Yep.
But he and I have done a few just videos on
Oh, right on.
So,
yeah. And the habitat over there in Waimānalo and the Kaiwi coastline.
Yeah,
oh,
so,
great.
He also works with 808 cleanups.
Yep.
And
that would be a good story map, actually, the Kaiwi coastline, and focus on the story of the yellow-faced bee would be kind of a cool way to learn about that coastline and learn about its space.
There's only 3 major colonies in the island.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And that spot is kind of unique that sort of massive.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, that's interesting. We might have to add that to the project. Add that to the project.
Over there, and it seriously took me an hour just to train my eyes to
notice them.
I recognize what I was looking for. It's really only that big.
Yeah.
Little tiny black grains of rice, basically. So, yeah, it's funny.
Very cool.
Video will fly, but once you get it close, it's actually
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can hear because of the wind, but Tyler's talking about along the Kaiwi shoreline here on the southeast corner of Oahu, there's one of the colonies of the yellow-faced bee, native yellow-faced bee, and really cool coastline that often gets overlooked. And I was just imagining it'd be kind of a cool spot for us to create a story map for. So be part of the focus of this project. That's right. I love that spot. I love some old, like I think there's maybe an old, because there's some like remnants of some rock structures out there on the shoreline.
So the reason why that beach is called Allen Davis is the Davis family
had a ranch out there. So there was maybe a stable or some.
There's a few houses I think further back in.
Interesting. Kimiona, yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, it's got some history in there for sure.
I love it. I love it.
Anyway, guys, I think they're out there on Tuesdays, just
in the cleanups.
Trying to expand out the habitat.
That's cool.
Yeah,
does it lives a lot like in the Naupaka and like in some of those beach plants, or?
So if you go over there, you'll notice the whole, well, not the whole coastline, but there's good portions of the coastline there that are all people.
Yeah.
And if you look really closely at it, it looks like holes that are drilled in the wall.
Yeah. The bees do that?
They don't have. Yeah, I had no idea.
Wow, I'm learning a lot.
Like hives and regular.
Yeah, they can bore through. They can bore through coral.
They'll bore into that, and then that's where they lay their eggs, one at a time. Yeah,
that's rad.
They're in a colony. There's just a bunch of individuals that are all hanging out together.
Nature is amazing, and while we're recorded and have all of you on Zoom, like as someone who loves biomimicry, right, and thinking about like, all the lessons nature has for us, but some of them totally unexpected, right? If we want to, I'm thinking about Kalau Hai that we learned about last week with Uncle Bruce, and how we're actually going to drill a hole to reopen the lava tube, the spring that flowed to Kalau Hai when it was capped when they expanded Kalaniʻi Highway. And it might be like, I don't know how
messed up those construction practices are going to be, right? I hope they're really targeted and that they're really clean. But, you know, you think about this little tiny bee can drill through coral. You know, I'm always like, wow, the genius all around us that goes largely unnoted. We blow right past it in Tyler Shores. We just don't even think about it. And in some cases, it keeps it protected. And in other cases, if we entered into those spaces with permission and intention and thought about what can we learn from these creatures, it's one of my hopes for future navigators as we talk about the genius of our place is, you know, really looking at what the honu that we released this morning, or the yellow-faced bees, or so many of our plants that thrive in the water, the limu that lives here, or the plants that are surviving on these coastlines. I think they're going to provide some secrets to resilience in these places and regeneration in these places, just like the ancestors and knowledge of the ancestors can do. So they're ancestors too, yeah, Ike Kapunas, all of our living relatives. So yeah,
it's a service what you're doing too, just because you're bringing awareness to spaces where people are walking over it and they have no idea what's going on.
That's right. That's right. Just knowing it makes a big difference. Well, we can see, I'm going to show you guys the tide continues to drop. I don't know if you noticed, but I think we're coming to low tide a little bit later. I'm gonna like maybe in an hour or two, I'm gonna follow Tyler over. We have some of the other groups that are out working, just so you can tune in for a little bit on that. And then I might actually turn off the Zoom and just kind of engage without holding a camera for the last little bit of time. We will close in Pico, and I'll try to turn on the Zoom for closing Pico so that those who want to be there for that, we welcome that. But yeah, do you guys have any questions? I'm gonna walk over and join the group, but before I do, are there any questions or comments or stories from you all? Trying to see chat, but I see there's a lot of comments, but then I can't. I'm trying to figure out how to pull up the chat and it won't let me. Oh, I raised my hand. Didn't need to do that. All right, I'm gonna head over and listen in as Kimiona's talking story with this group and learn about that. So, aloha, you all.
Dan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Oh, this is Lena Ala. In the chat, I was wondering.
Yeah, tell me. Oh no.
Lena ala alehiki ke lohe a oi.
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you again now. I wonder if I'm losing signal. Can you try asking one more time?
Lena ala, you're on mute.
Kalamai Kumo, I think we were delayed. I was just wondering when we do this series of pictures, if yeah, I think it's delayed though, Noi.
Am I delayed? I can hear you guys.
Okay, no worries. I have a question just around the timing of picture taking.
Yeah.
Yeah, Noi, can you ask my question in the chat? Oh, I can't unmute it. I'm having still issues.
We can hear you now, Lena ala.
I can try explain just a little bit more about how to time those photos. If that's what the question was. I'm sorry, I can't see the chat very easily right now.
He asked, is it too drastic to wait for low tide to come back and take another angle pictures to develop the 3D pictures due to the sunlight?
Yeah, so that it is really smart to be thinking about, you know.
I just was wondering, Kumo, around the timing of pictures when you do the series, and let's say we want to come back later to get different angles, do all of our shots have to be done within the same series?
It is a really
Okay,
good question.
mahalo.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I hope you guys can hear me okay, but really is helpful to try to get all of the layers in one set in at a similar time frame. Yeah, so that you have kind of similar shadows and shading and light. It's obviously we can't control it really well. You get pretty fast at gathering these layers with a little bit of practice. So it's not that hard. And then you can build multiple models. Yeah. So you could compare what does a model look like that I create in the morning, right? So I have morning shading, I have afternoon shading, evening shading. So you can at different tides or things like that, but it's just something to play around with. It's importing photos taken at different times of day into the same web scene, into the same 3D map. It's going to just make the software work a lot harder to try to correct things and blend things. So it's a little, not that the software works hard, really, it's just a computer, but you know, it's going to come out with probably a better product if you're taking them around the same time. It's a good question, though. And we can talk more too when we go up and do our last layer in a minute with Kaimana, and then also on Wednesday, and it'll be recorded again on Wednesday. On Wednesday we'll have you know, we will start trying to create using some of these tools. So we'll be able to kind of see what happens and talk more about some of those experiments too. So. Good questions. Stoked you guys are gonna, I can tell we're gonna give this a shot. We're gonna give this a try. So I'm excited for that. Excited for that. But we do have our crew. Let's see. I turn my camera. Yeah.
Oh. Daniel, does the fish pond walls help protect the erosion on the properties behind it?
It's also a good question. I don't know that, I don't know how much the fish pond walls protect that. You know, there's one of the things we're trying to figure out is, I mean, obviously it prevents wave action from coming in. So in an ideal world, it might make those walls unnecessary. You know, if we move the pohaku out further and create these spaces where there's less wave action, but we're still trying to study the currents and the sand movement and things in the space. So a lot of those things are not yet known. You know, this is relatively, this work is being brought back to life. So so there's still a lot of learning happening for sure. But I'd like to kind of give us a quick tour. I have a question from one of the other students who's here, so I'm gonna answer that real quick and then give us a little walking tour, and we'll come back and do our last layer of flights too. So I think we missed some important lessons on weaving rocks from Kimiona, but maybe we'll get a chance to all revisit that. But we've got this crew here has been weaving rock, so.
Right.
Hey, let's get this Hui up in.
Oh, it looked like we had Makahiki games or something or content. Look at this. So
We went from just simple volunteers to rock weavers.
Rock weavers.
Take a look. Say hi to our Zumohana gangy.
Zumohana. You guys are gonna have to share some of this knowledge on Mighty Networks or something.
Okay. So if you need a water break, take a water break. If you need an ocean break, take an ocean break. Our goal is to get this back into the water. With the same learning that you guys are practicing.
So Rock Weaver is doing some great work, learning how to. You guys got to learn how to fly drones, but they were learning how to do a more ancient practice, building this rock wall. So stoked for that. My mom's got another question. No. Thank you. Very, very cool. And while these guys were learning, the Waimānalo Limuhui was just, the hammers were out just getting the work done. So I can walk us out on the pond and we can see these guys aren't playing any games. They're just getting it done. Maybe pulling out some new pohaku to add to the wall. How's it, guys? Just letting the Zoomers see the people doing the real work. That's all. Not right over here. Not just goofing off with the drones or playing pohaku weaving makahiki games over there on the beach. That's some real work happening out here. Oh, nice. So try to give you guys a little more of a sense of the special space that we're in, the people who care for it. Really wish you guys could be here today, but I'm glad you're here on Zoom. You are here today. Glad you're here on Zoom. Appreciate you guys. I think maybe I'm gonna ask Kaimana if he'll see if we can set that up. Is it dead, you think, the battery, or still got some? Want to try to catch some? Yeah. Yeah. Or were you bringing it over something else?
No, I was bringing it over to 360 videos.
Yeah, we can you can extend the legs out. We can put the tripod in the water.
Okay.
And kind of like, if we put that, we're going to put this GoPro Max, this 360 camera, put it out there. It'll feel like when someone puts VR on or watches it on YouTube VR, it'll feel like they're out there working with the pohaku. So Kaimana's going to try to set that up, capture a little bit of a 360 video of that work going on. And then he'll come back and Kaimana, after a few minutes, we can come back and fly that last lap. Yeah. Mahalo. All right. It's amazing to me that this works. So glad this is not working perfect, but good enough. It's a good try. It's the world we live in. I am starting, for those of you able to listen, I am really interested in having our hui, our March 5th and our March 19th Saturdays. Those are designated in the sale plan as days where we really want you to be able to work with your hui out in your community. And so I'm super stoked to try to figure out if we can zoom in from different places around our islands where you all are working. So we'll talk about that. It's something we talk about in maybe one of our sessions in one of these upcoming Wednesdays. So I'm gonna set you guys up. You guys can say aloha to Keala. She was just weaving some rocks. I'm gonna set you guys up here on Obama's wall and give you a good view of Pāhonu. Yeah, what's up, Keala?
Is the RGIS training later today?
It's the ArcGIS training. So what about ArcGIS?
Or not the RGIS, and it's the drone training. Is that one later today?
No, we've been doing it. But we're gonna do one more flight. You want to do it? Want to help us fly? All right, Kayla is going to help us fly. So Kaimana is filming a little bit with the 360-degree camera, and when he comes back, we'll throw the drone up one more time. You can help us fly. We got to fly another low lap to get images of the rock wall from as many angles as can.
Oh,
Cool.
and then I think we might be doing. Is there another one later today?
Yeah, there's another session if you guys are going to stay in the afternoon.
I think yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Good. You had a good time. Hey, Cooper, you going to come help fly? Yeah. All right. Kaimana's getting.
I'm doing Fisher 8 back in 2000.
Over Fisher 8?
It's
Wow.
the last,
That's awesome.
yeah. I don't say what year was it?
Wow. Is that 18?
Okay, yeah. My mom has sent it.
Okay, Kupo, come tell the folks on the Zoom, because Kupo's telling us about flying a drone. Last time she flew a drone was over Fissure 8, not far from Anti-Page during the big Kilauea eruption. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Oh, are we getting everybody together? What time is it? It is 11. Oh, we have closing Pico. So, but what we're going to do is go do closing Pico, and I'll bring you guys with us. And then we're going to come back and do one last drone flight with Kaimana and these 3 drone pilots. So we might go a little past 11:30, but I think people are getting a little hangry. So you might be too. I hope you guys get something to eat. And yeah, we'll be back over here with the drones, but I'm gonna bring you guys over to closing Pico. Come on, I want to try again and bring the. Do we have any battery life? Let's like set it up like it's another person for closing Pico, and then we'll do that last drone flight, and then we'll be pow. Some of the younger kids want to do one more drone flight too. For closing Pico, we find a nice deep spot in the pond. I love it. Keep everybody cool. I'm not trying not to put you guys in the water, because then you'll go night.
That would be the thing. I got some Zoom talking. I'm like, I wish I could just stick them under the water.
Maybe we could stream from the GoPro one of these days.
Okay. Very National Geographic, actually.
Find a space for you to relax. Our little Honu,
Hey, oh, is that a Honu? Look at this guy.
all right, mahalo nui, everybody. Thank you guys so much for your work this morning. I know you guys are all bummed, like, wow, we still like work. I know. We come out here every week. Feel free to join us. Yeah, every Sunday for the most part, we're out here. Second and fourth Saturday, we're out here. At some point, if you like randomly just come out here, just let us know. We'll probably ditch work and come out here with you. Okay? But we want to mahalo all of you guys on behalf of our Waimānalo Ohana, our Waimānalo Ohana here in Waimānalo. Just mahalo for your folks' contributions to the perpetuation of this space, to the perpetuation of this wahi, to the perpetuation of our people, our culture, our practices. All of that is so incredibly important as the world continues to evolve. And so we play a really important and critical role in how we move our spaces and people forward. And so we want to kind of reflect on that. When we finish our work day with volunteer groups, we go through and we talk about it. Like we did with our group up here, always talk about it. Yeah, no topic is off the table, right? It's when we stop talking about things that we find ourselves digging holes into places that we shouldn't have. Yeah, we gotta hold those conversations near and dear to our heart, because we're talking about the future of our people. Yeah, And so in closing Pico, we tend to take it pretty much like popcorn style. When you know, when your gut says to speak, speak. Yeah. And we spend the time like we did in our earlier Pico. We're gonna spend the time sitting here in reflection because this is what we're gonna leave with. Yeah. We're gonna reflect on what you're taking away with you today. Yeah. As coordinators for ourselves, as practitioners, we always want to make sure volunteers come in here and they can leave with something of value. Yeah, that they didn't just come here to move rocks because it felt good, but you came to take something back with you just as you gave and put into this space. Yeah, and so we are so fortunate again to have all of your support here, our future navigators, Hui and Ohana, our Kapoma'a team and Ohana, all of our folks that are joining us on Zoom, and everyone that will follow this process and project into the future. Mahalo nui a'oukou. Yeah, so please speak when you're moved to speak. We're gonna pay attention to everybody and honor everybody's voice because all of you put and committed yourself to us in this way. And then from there, we'll just go right around. When you feel moved to speak, please share with us your manahau. And even if you never had a good day, say that because that's okay. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. We just have to feed you. Please join us in sharing your reflection. Come, Spen. Or I can pick who goes first. Up to you guys. Mahalo.
I wrote a elected dish that eats the limo and keeps it elsewhere. That's what I'm hoping to do. Take the knowledge that I've learned and the spirit of it and
poop it all over the place. Poop is important, people. Mahalo for that. Beautiful.
Mahalo to everybody who's here. Many years I've always wanted to come and visit what I do on Maui with people and visit the other people when I have a chance, but more so because it's part of Future Navigators. I really wanted to make that huge effort to try to come here from Maui, and I'm very glad I did. I got one of my opponents that came with me out of the state of Maui, and but it's just wonderful. I'm grateful for the opportunity for this Pāhonu. Also to restore like my connections to my Moa, my classmates, Kaika and Joy Win. I haven't seen them in ages.
Oh, that's your classmate. So we're just gonna put it out there because Kaika's on Kupuna Baleno. I mean, woo. I'm so sorry. No, you didn't.
You know, yeah, you. I went over it and I was. I think this gratitude of restoring friendships, connections, and then also just finding a place so that I can go back and continue this work. I'm switching on back.
Beautiful. Mahalo for that.
Mahalo.
I want to say thank you. Like talking a lot about the wall. What really is actually the purpose of the wall. That's not used the way it was before. We really wanted to do what we wanted it to be for, and like, I have like there's like a paw for like where I do work. Something actually have rubber. There's a papua. Yes, I don't think it's Hawaiian. It's like maybe like Samoan or something. Similar, but it's different meaning. It's papua. Here you gave the meaning of the wall kind of people that come later, that come learn later about the wall, that how to do rock moving. Cool, like class
classroom space, you can create it.
Absolutely. These are the classrooms. Yeah. They should always have been the classroom. They should always continue to be the classroom. So whether we come as a kula, we come as a, hui, we come as a business, we just come as people and community. This is a space of learning. Our kumu wanted this to always be a space of learning. Yeah. So when we talk about the future of Pāhonu, it's like, oh, you guys can close them off, make them a fish pond. Probably not. Yeah. Cannot be one turtle pond because then we have to privatize it and kick everybody out. But this is such an important piece of anyone from Waimānalo and even beyond who have come into this space to learn about themselves, to learn how to swim, to learn how to just go diving. Yeah, and so we never want to take that away from our people. Right? But if we can encourage our people to learn how to malama this space, how to make sure it stays in this way and continues to be a learning space, that's our goal. At least that's one of our largest goals, I think, to be honest. And then, of course, the limu and everything that follows limu is critical, right? But that's all a part of the learning. So we cannot teach if people are not willing to come and learn. So as much as we want to take advantage of being kumu in this space, if there's no haumana to come and hear it, we'll talk to the sand. Yeah. But that's important too. So I want to mahalo you for being willing to spend this time with us and to put yourself, even if you're kumu in your own space, to put yourself into the haumana seat for a few minutes. Yeah, and just learn in humility. Yeah. That's epic. And we, as a limuhui, we look for those opportunities all the time too. To take our hui and our haumana all over the place, wherever we go, to learn, to kokua, to support the other huis that are out doing their thing and just be a student of life. That's critical. Mahalo for that. Many people forgo, so. I just want to say mahalo.
Yeah, that was like the Pāhonu. They all have places. Just figure it out and be together.
I really love seeing Ohana learning together and Hui coming together in ways that we've got, from the start, even when I just saw applications and things like that, I saw, oh, we've got keiki, we've got kopuna, we've got the whole range, as old as Ikaika, but as young as my own children, and seeing everybody learning together, caring for one another. It's like that is how learning is supposed to happen and how our communities are supposed to be. So it's a real blessing to see it in action. It's one thing when it's just a number on a screen, but then when you see the whole community out here and being invited in like this was really special. So Ikaika, Kimiona, the whole Limuhui, we really appreciate you guys for embracing us and including us in the way that you have. And I know I was on like the tech, I'm doing Zoom and drones and looking around going, the more important work is over there. And it's where people chose to spend their time. And I know some people want to come learn some more about drones, and we can do that, but it's clear like everyone here has a good sense of what the real important things are. And that's, to me, really special. So those are the stories that we want to tell and that we want to share. So mahalo for that. I had a great day today watching everybody and being a part of this. Yeah.
I'm normally used to like saying words once in experience. I really enjoyed like meeting the people, build the wall. It was like
Mahalo.
So grateful to be on. I think it's a little crazy to put my son in school. This looks like but I actually And I had not. I was like, oh, this is where you came here. I was kind of monitoring the day, so actually. So much, and then all he keeps saying is, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna show up and be present. Oh, absolutely. I know there's
Apologetic.
Touching a really, really important thing for all of us to know and to take to heart. Yeah. We gotta show up. Gotta show up. Our places, our practices need people. Yeah. Even if you drive past some place every day and you go, oh, it's jamming, reach out to them and ask. Because I can almost guarantee you, no space that practices culture is gonna turn you away. We need more hands touching these spaces than you could ever imagine. Because back in the day, this was people's lifestyle. Yeah. Today, not as much are in this lifestyle. Like the Haumana we're sharing up here. This is hard, right? That's hard work. You're right. It is. The biggest effort that we can put out into our spaces is to make the decision to show up. From there, the cocoa that floods in you is just you're gonna move. You're gonna just move in presence. So that's the first step. So happy you acknowledge that and to share that with us. That's one of the biggest things we tell anybody. I'm gonna be here. Just show up. Awesome. Mahalo. Are we at a time where we gotta push people now? Mahalo.
Since the pandemic, and we had to stay home, not get on planes and visit Ohana, the continent, or whatever the case may be, it was a real opportunity to learn more about our island home, because I realized how little I really knew about this island I grew up on. And so and this was also, like others have said, a place that I had long wanted to learn more about, but cannot just show up, and you want to do it through the eyes of people who are, for them, this is their place, and that's so special, and it makes it an experience so much deeper. So, like in Waimānalo, when we heard from people from there, to see it through your eyes is such a treasure. So we mahalo you for sharing your place and for helping us learn the names and history and being a part of hopefully helping as we go forward. I feel now like I can come back. We can come back. We know how to be here and what to expect and how to contribute. So thank you again for future navigators. It's an opportunity to learn more about different communities and then also contribute to our own. So there have been blessings in the pandemic, also being with people, because we stayed pretty much in our bubble and we're homeschooling on top of it. So even if you don't get out much, and so just to be with people and connect Zoom faces to real bodies, and in the actual same air is really nice, and it's also a blessing. So mahalo to everybody and to our hosts and future navigators.
Mahalo.
I love my Zoom body.
Your turn. Now you gotta go, Cole. What'd you learn today, Cole?
How would you see?
There you go.
Aloha everyone. This week's Aulana No'eau at our kula is Eoni Pa'akako from Pimili'ukalani. And this morning, or actually yesterday, in our Mahina Kulua, following Tampana, we shared about Kulua. And you know, I always feel when we flow and the ebb and flow things, you know, things come into our ikeya as we go. And so if I can just bring Tom Penna in, and as he shared Mahina Kulua, and as we in Kukolu, Mahina is still up here. What does Mahina Kulua remind us to do? Build, grow, erect, and create. Take formless potential and create something amazingly beautiful. Craft work, build, create beauty, artwork, traditional and modern, organizational work, think hui, relationship, work, the good stuff. Harnessing the creative force to make beauty is one of the gifts given to us by Keakua. How many hugs will you give? How many metaphorical flowers will you smell? How much good can you create in your relationship? How beautiful can you make this precious gift we call life? Notice, no question mark on that one. Just integration to create beauty. Kilo and C. So, we all come in from different spaces, yeah? And some of us, our Niho has been here planted for many years, and time's been away, we always come back. We can be a digital learner, we can be a techie, we can be part of our ho'a that's touching ohaku or building. Whatever kuleana we have, eoni pa'akako, eoni pa'akako. So, mahalo for today, mahalo kimiano, you know how much I love you guys in Ikaika. You guys have been my Niho, and mahalo. Mahalo, Danny, for this opportunity for future navigators. And so, aloha nui to 1,000 and many thousand more years. Aloha nui.
Aloha.
Thank you for that TikTok. So, yeah.
I got a chance to snorkel around the outside of the pond. Every 10 seconds, I was getting yanked on my feet. Check this out. Check this out. Look at this. And have this really old space, like the technologies and this next generation here. It really gives me hope. Knowing that, you know, this present is really just what's behind us, what's in front of us. Stuff being built, but fixing the stuff that's old. Knowing that your intention is not to make it as if it was, but you know that it isn't. It's really exciting. Well, how much stuff did we see out there?
Still looking.
I hope so. You can fill out the kilo sheet, but
I want to mahalo Drew and Joy, you guys, you know, making the trip over here in these times, and we got busy lives, and you know, you could have just popped in, you know, to Zoom and checked it off, and I don't want to, I say that with all love and respect for the folks on Zoom committing hours to be on a computer this morning, coming in to stay connected to this is remarkable. But you guys, you know, making the trip, we really appreciate getting to have you in the space with us. So thanks from Kauai and Maui. It's connecting our islands, you know, it's really, really amazing to me. So
I've never been out of town.
yeah, oh no. It's a beautiful island if you can just get out of town. Come on.
got several more voices that still gotta come into.
Just want to follow the crew. I feel so grateful to be here. Work with all. Also,
turtles back.
Yeah, picking now. Mahalo. But you get nervous when you say that. You know? He's got a juicy. What island is this? Get plenty spaces for you to.
Uncle Kimmy are gonna send you over there.
We hook you up. Yeah. Mahalo. Tag the next person. Hi.
Mahalo.
I see you avoiding eye contact with me.
Mahalo.
Well, we used to come out here, like I said earlier, we used to just come out here just to swim and stuff. But I think just recently we learned that there was a fish pond here, and more recently we learned that there used to be Pāhonu here. So it was really cool to come out here and see the fish ponds that used to have the Pāhonu inside, and then the surprise of actually seeing the Pāhonu inside was so cool, and it's like you can almost imagine how it would have been. So, thank you for that.
In the back.
Yeah, I had an awesome morning. It's always a pleasure to come here and the space and kind of learn a few new things at a time and take a swim and just enjoy nature. And seeing those turtles was awesome today. Seeing the rainbow was awesome.
First, thank you to the instructors. This was a very enlightening experience. In life, we have to accept that sometimes the hard work is going to get washed away in a matter of seconds. You cannot be discouraged. You just got to take the lumps, learn what can you do better.
Yep.
Move on. Put more work in. Work smarter, not harder.
Mahalo. Epic. Thank you.
Only my third time here, but I'm still blown away by how much you can learn from everyone that shows up and everything that happens in this space.
I'm just super thankful that there's a lot of people who would come out and put their hands together for building rock walls and just coming together to see each other and not like face to face. So that's one thing I just love about life.
Beautiful. Aloha. I was resting. I just want to say mahalo to everyone that showed up. It makes me realize how blessed I am to work in this space every week, and I enjoy every minute. And I am so blessed. And mahalo for reminding me of that. I appreciate that.
Mahalo for the opportunity. They have learned this working relationships as we're trying to build foundations and just
Here when I was like really little, and I just felt it was here, and I came back. Now, like, see like the progress of it, and I'm grateful for every person that put in time that helped. Yeah. Hi. More than me, for right here, it's all of you that showed up. It's the desire that drives all of us to be a part of something beyond us. Yeah, that's mahalo to you. Mahalo for trusting us with your hands and your kiki and your skills and your learning. Yeah, that's one of the most ultimate privileges we have as kumu, is to perpetuate things taught to us. It's more than what we are. Mahalo, everybody. Did we miss anybody? We're staring at you, young man. Oh, did you have fun today? Perfect. Good enough. Okay, if we did it, we're good. Any questions, comments, or concerns, gang? Yeah, yeah. Okay. If we have none, we're gonna close in Oli. This Oli was shared with us by our beautiful Kiki and Homana Bulua'i Learning Center out in the beautiful Moku of Eva. And they came out here to come out of the mountain and to come and touch the kai here. And they provided this Oli for us to perpetuate on their behalf. And so we'll go ahead and Oli this. And then from there, I'll turn it over to these two. We can finish off kind of the day. Again, mahalo nui a'oko. Thank you so much. And please know that you're welcome to be a part of this anytime you feel that you have a calling to be a part of this. We always welcome people to come into space with us and to practice, to hold kuleana. Because it's not just a vacation to come over here, sip your drink, and sit on the beach. Right? This is a space to come into hana. And then we go eat. And then we go talk. And then we go laugh. But we hana first. So if we can, you can stay noho, and we're just gonna stare at our wall, or you can see the islands out there, you know. Take it all in. Take a deep breath in. Hanumai. Hanuaku. Deep breath out. Think about your day. Hanumai. Hanuaku. Think about all the kupuna that touch these stones before you. Hanumai. Hanuaku. Reflect on those ba'a that brought our kupuna into this space and landed at Hunana Niho. Yeah. Reflect on what they saw. The excitement that we saw with our Honu today. Imagine that. Traveling across the voyaging seas, coming to this space and landing to Pai right here at Hunana Niho. Yeah. That is something that we can only hope to see perpetuated. So reflect on all of that. Makoko. Yes? Okay. No ke aloha na e mahalo e ia kamanava e ho'ola iai mai kalahi ki a kalakau mai kalahi ki a kalakau kau mai na alo palie aloha e na manu leo hone ua manu o kau ka me ke kai e ua manu o kau ka me ke kai e kani oli olu na na e a e hoa e kupa maka e ia ke aloha ina e maka e ia ke aloha ina e no ke aloha ina mahalo e no ke aloha ina mahalo e
Anumay. Ano ako? Anumay. Ano ako? Anumay. Ano ako? Clap. So again, mahalo nui everybody. Dan, you guys had any closing words? Hector?
A big mahalo from me to everyone for their roles and participation today. We may do one more flight. I'll check with Kaimana. I imagine he's getting hungry. I'm getting hungry too. So we'll see. But I know there's a few folks who wanted to sort of get their hands on the drones and see that space. We were recording the flights earlier, so we'll be able to share that out. And we'll also be meeting again on Wednesday evening on Zoom to share a little bit more about what we did today. So if there are folks who want that tech learning, they want to understand that a little bit more, we'll create more space for that. But yeah, mahalo nui to everyone and for being safe, taking care of each other, and just learning a lot today. Mahalo nui to Kimiona, Ikaika, and the Waimānalo Limuhui. You guys are amazing, and I look forward to being back out here with you all. Mahalo.
There's Mahina.
Yeah. Oh. Mahalo for bringing Tom Pena and Homaika Pono, his account. It's on our story map. So if you're interested in following that yourself, you can, he does amazing stuff. Kilo, practicing kilo. So.
I just wanted to thank all you folks for coming out this morning. I know we have another group coming out this afternoon. Hopefully the other half of you folks or whoever could participate and be here on island. Hope you enjoyed the turtle release. That's something we don't get to do very often, but our partnership with Sea Life Park allows that to happen every once in a while. So you guys lucked out. I didn't want to say that it was happening because for us, something we believe in is you got to be present to win, and that's the only way you win is if you show up. So mahalo for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you guys on Zoom on Wednesday.
So the time is yours. Clearly, our hui still has kuleana. They're gonna be weaving rock for a little bit longer. We're gonna be putting the material that we took out into the sand back into the wall. But this time is yours, so you don't have to just leave. You're welcome to just stay. Mala'au, yeah, have the conversations, enjoy the space, build if you like build, go fly drones if you like fly drones. But whatever you feel like doing, please go do. Yeah, find yourself a space. Yes, sir.
Are we allowed to carefully put other sea creatures in here without out there?
So our kuleana is to create a space for them, not necessarily to force them into it, but to let them come in on their leisure. So I would say if we could leave them where they are and just kind of pule that they come and find sanctuary here, that would be the best way we could do that. Because at some point, I guarantee you, you'll find them in the pond. We just get plenty of people today. They never come out. They're shy. Good question. Unless you get opihi, then you can put them on the wall.
Ikaika, are we, if folks are participating this afternoon with the limule that are part of the morning too, because I know some people were planning on doing both, is that back at the beach park?
Yeah.
So around 12:30, we'll keep it casual, but around 12:30, be back at the beach park. Cool.
Ready, break. Mahalo nui, everybody. Thank you so much. Not out here, no. I might have in my truck.
All right.
I'm not walking back. Maybe one day I'll come back. Get some stuff.
All right, Zoomers. Mahalo nui for an amazing morning. I am going to log back into the Zoom again at 12:30 to start the afternoon session. You all are welcome to sign off. Christina's still host, so if Christina stays on, the Zoom will stay open, but there's no pressure. But I'm gonna log off so I can move things back over to the beach park, get some lunch, and then we'll be back in at 12:30. Any questions before I go, or any mana'o? Oh, mahalo to you. Ohana iyo kepaguro. Appreciate you all tuning in. I hope I get to see you soon. Oh, hula practice. That's awesome. It's a beautiful continuation. Oh, thank you, Christina. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll resume the call for anyone who wants to come back in at 12:30. We'll be making some limule and planting them. So aloha, everyone. Ahui ho.